finish what we started. Don't wanna cry about it. Let's finish what we started.
How's it going, boys? I'm just getting the webcam stuff set up real quick. It shouldn't take long, hopefully. Okay, that'll be good enough, I think, hopefully. Dude, I still gotta... Honestly, every time I'm like, I gotta fix the webcam stuff, it's just not worth my time a lot of the times. Usually, like, someone else comes up, right? Some other work or project or a dumb idea that I want to try, like some oh, I found some wacky build on PTR, let me see if I can make it work. Oh wait, it works because it's overtuned. Next week it doesn't work. Okay. Well, that was worthless. That was not worth the time at all. Little things like that. And I usually end up putting, like, I still remember, like, from time to time I think about, like, I really gotta figure out the webcam stuff. I open up the Logitech software, I'll open up OBS, I start messing with some settings. But as soon as I, like, close the program, open it back up, then everything just goes to absolute. It just stops working for one reason or another. I wish you guys could have seen what the hell BNet was doing just now. It had a bunch of updates queued and it just started shuffling them like a deck of cards. I wish I should have switched the scene as soon as I saw it, because that was odd. Why is everything odd today? What the hell is the start for the day, dude? I just wanted to do some stuff. Wait. Huh? We're not doing it, are we? We're not actually doing it, are we? No way are we doing this, huh? No way we're doing this. No. No. There's no way we're gonna be doing WOD Classic. No shot we're doing WOD Classic, man. No way we're doing WOD Classic. Are you kidding me? There's no way. Like, huh? No shot they're doing WOD Classic. What is there to do? You have, like, a patch, and that's it. You got, like, a couple of raids, but they weren't, like... Well, actually, I guess depending on who you ask, some people would say they were literally the greatest raids in the world that they've ever made, but god damn. But I feel like at some point you no longer have the game feel classic. Wasn't WOD where people are like, well, that's when the game started to get super modernized. In fact, my GM is always like, well, you know, WOD basically created everything that made Legion and expansions after what they are, right? World Quests, except World Quests weren't in WOD. That was Legion when they did that. World Quests weren't a thing. Yeah. Events, I guess, like, there was events in the open world, but then you just, like, mission tables? He was like, well, you remember mission tables from Legion? I'm like, yeah, but who the hell liked mission tables? That was, like, the least fun of order halls. People just did it as a chore. That, like, who the hell was like, oh man, cannot wait to log on and play my Facebook game. Like, who the hell thought that that was good? And tried to use that as like, oh, remember that? Shut up. What? Are you high? Did you play WOD? I know you did, because you guys got literally World 20 on Blackhand, but damn. What in the world? There's no shot they're doing WOD Classic, right? There's no way they're doing WOD Classic, man, right? BRF and HCC at top 5 raids. Look, I don't think it matters whether you have raids like being excellent. If the core of the game is rotten, no one's gonna play it. That's why WoD had the biggest sub losses in recorded history until they stopped recording them. Literally, that expansion was the reason why they stopped showing any numbers whatsoever. That should tell you everything, dude. That should tell you everything. On top of it, they literally had survival guide for patch 6.1, where essentially there was nothing new but a selfie cam Twitter integration. Literally, the guide was like 3 minutes maybe. 3 minutes, 16 seconds or something. They literally made a survival guide for it. Literally, the survival guide should have been surviving this damn patch with nothing to do. It was a joke. They still have it up. It's still on YouTube. You can still find it. It was abysmal, dude. So we were saying, like, what the hell is hitting that guy? Is this guy getting hit by, like, some Shadow Word Pain? I don't understand. Wait, what? Oh, there's a priest that's smiting him. I was gonna say for a second, like, huh? Sibirayo? Same. Let's get the boys going here, man. Let's get the groups going. Molten Core. Bro, if they're... Hold on. Me too. Alrighty, boys, get in here. Get in here, let's get some games going. But I'm gonna get the music going here in a second, dude. I got a little heated. Dark Lane, how you doing, bud? Welcome back, man. Welcome back, my dude. Oh, it's loud. Here we go. That should be less loud, right? Fear War, baby. Get some Fear Wars in here. Handy. On a rogue. Okay. Interesting. Are we going to be bringing Demon Hunter in as well later? You're welcome to play around in either or. Honestly, where did the priest go? Oh, he ran off. He left. I was thinking for a second, like, why? Who's smiting that guy? Lemonade. Oh, Radimus. Get in here, boys. We need uno mas. Uno mas. Who was the last spot? Unless Radimus doesn't take it. There you go. He takes it. One more. Dalaran Gaming. How you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a good one. Good afternoon, Dal. What's up, Frankie? How you doing, my guy? Welcome back. Where did it say WoD Classic? So it didn't say WoD Classic. It just said the data mine. Okay, this is what they are. This is what the thing says. Warlord General Collector's Edition Mount and Pet found in Mists of Pandaria Classic. So essentially, first discovered in Mists of Pandaria files in July 2014, the Reigns of Raven Dreadlord was eventually announced as a mount for purchase during Collector's Edition. Along with the mount, essentially in a recent update, from what I can understand, from what I can glean, we're just over a month into the final phase of Siege of Orgrimmar. Blizzard been tight-lipped on what's going on. While roadmap is shared, the state of play, State of Azeroth earlier this year, map ends with phase 5. Players may have to wait until Blizzard has revealed more, but we found one clear. First scope Pandaria file, while it could be simply these items that were left over in a database, hopefully that's the case. Reigns of Dreadlord could be found in-game current mount journal. So you can actually open up the mount journal for Pandaria and actually find the mount in the game. And the files for both mounts can be found. Again, maybe just a leftover. Maybe just a leftover thing. But like... Oh, double pally with Saya? Or do we want to go double paladin like this? Is that too many palas? Is that too bad? Is that too many? Might be one too many paladins. We have one. I don't know if we want to pick up two. Yeah, having one paladin at a time probably is best. Saya, I love you. I love you, bud. But probably one at a time. Hey, friend, wanna join Duels? I'll ask Tama if he wants to join in. I don't know how many paladins Krager's picked up. Hey, Dalaran, what's up, Hell Bragg? How you doing, my guy? Hope you having good on my man. But yeah, anyway, if they do WoD Classic, I do feel like that's a wrong move. I feel like WoD is no longer a point where the expansion is Classic. WoD is where things started to get modernized. But also WoD introduced a bunch of features that I don't think a lot of people are going to like to begin with. I feel like that's probably going to be the least played Classic expansion. Is there RPG today? Okay, he's doing RPGs. Rest on Hill, I'm pretty sure is already in the group. We already have a lot of Demon Hunters here anyway. Dark Lane would be great to get another Demon Hunter. Does Chard Sad join? I don't remember. Does Bilbo want to join? He's probably grinding keys, but maybe I should ask him. We have a rogue in this team, right? I think we picked up one. And I thought, yeah, there's no way he's gonna be like, yo, priest, let me get in on that, because priests are not great in duels at the moment. Well, let's get an invite. Actually, is it just Saya? Okay, I'm still hot here. Lol, 36, 37C. How about you? All good? Bro, it is actually, let me tell you, 97 degrees Fahrenheit. It's almost 100 degrees outside. It is sweltering. It's actually so bad, bro. So I get, so my car is the knob for the gear shift. The leather was melting and cracking, and it just went the other day. It just started to fall apart. And it's just like, might as well just be melted putty. And like cracked bits here and there. It just all came undone. One time I grabbed it, it just came undone. It was bad, bro. It was bad. So I'm having a replacement sent out thanks to Amazon Online or Amazon.com, whatever. Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's hot in Canada, it's crazy. I know it gets pretty hot here too because of humidity especially, but like the 100 degrees and humidity, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. It actually isn't that bad until I start streaming or start rendering videos in my room. So it's actually not terrible. Tyler G. Dane, what the hell's he like? Demon Hunter? Tyler Dane. I feel like that's someone's actual first name, last name. That's hilarious. Okay, so do we just take Saya? Because I really would want a bit of that so-called variety here, if I can help it. Because I know Romaro joins these sometimes, but he's in a robo-drunk, so he's probably doing the thing. Rescue your mom. That is so funny, bro. Evokers are just not really workable. I have a lot of demon hunters here already. Like, do we just go with Saya? What do we do? Maybe I ask Bilbo. Hey, wanna join Duels? Maybe he's got some free time. Doubt it, but I'll ask anyway. Tyler Durden? I don't know who that is. Be General. What happened in General? What do you post about? Look, the collection which I hope just left over a while back. Oh, so you actually did post about it a while back, huh? God damn. Put something on for a year. I'm still hoping they don't do it, man. I'm still hoping they don't do WoW Classic. I feel like that would be a bad move. I feel like it would be a waste of time. I don't know how many people would actually be that interested. World of General wasn't that well received as an expansion. It just wasn't great. It just wasn't great. I'll ask Smushka. There's a good chance he's with Kragar. Also ask Manetha. I know that Saya's signing up, but like, wait. They're ready for Holy Saya? Yeah? You think so? Because 2 Palas on one team might be rough. There's no shot that they were like, yo, give us Saya. Yeah, Rest in Hell. Wait, is Rest in Hell prepping to combat this Palace? I'll take Gypsy. I'll take Gypsy. I will take Gypsy. But Saya, we'll get you in just so we don't have too many pallets. How does that sound? We'll definitely get you in. Let's see. Where's Saya? How do I message you? Didn't want too many pallets on one team, but we will get you in when a palace spot opens. They would skip WoD and make Legion Classic. Like at this point, I do agree. Like at this point, if you are gonna do anything crazy, yes, I actually would say yeah. At this point, that might actually be the play. No joke, no lie. Wait, Johnny, are you on? You're on. Beautiful. Lemonade with the E. Okay, cool. Lemonade. Lemonade. Cheddar match. Kragar. Johnny Boy 5. Nagrand 1. Alright, don't want too many palas. That's just a thing, right? Sure, no problem. I'm playing with one hand anyway. I play with one hand anyway. Damn. Oh, you do me like that. 100% bet there's a clip going around of a streamer getting upset. I'm seeing WoD mounts in journal. Yeah, there might be, man. I mean, one, it would be it's a great clip. What the hell happened with the health bar on the right hand side? Huh? Is that Handy's rogue? Is he all kinds of... Is Outlaw bugged? I can't even see his health bar. Is it just that? Hold on. Which? Oh, now I can see the health bar. That was weird. I couldn't see Handy's health bar for a second. I thought his health bar literally was in stealth, and I was going to say, that is literally the greatest rogue ever, because the stealth bar is literally in stealth. I kind of like the Mog. You have like the whole, maybe not the cloak. I think you can drop the cloak and it will look fantastic, but like the shoulders look great. I like it. Even the little pouch with poisons, I don't hate it. It kind of matches sort of, like the little sash down the middle. I like it. We got ourselves Gypsy as well on that team. We got ourselves Lemonade or Radimus, as well as Dark Lane first up as a Havoc versus Kragar, the boy himself, charging out immediately. The Haunt Connect spear goes down. Dark Lane has nowhere to go but to dish out some damage, try to see if he can fight through Kragar's pressure. It is going to be a stun into an immediate trinket by Kragar. Dark Lane meta does dissipate, but he could go into proper meta. He could do the big leap, try to see if he can back up out of the Kragar on his tail the entire time. Massive stomps. There goes the full meta. Picking up a lot of leech healing. Is going to be able to get access to his weapons whenever he does go for a backflip. Got himself a ton of damage. Kragar maybe have to be looking here for defensive. Next stun, however, versus Dark Lane could be pretty huge. Fear onto Kragar. Unfortunately, doesn't have a break from it. It's going to be a stun to follow. Trinket right after. Kragar intercepting him right afterwards. Has the defensive in case he needs to. Defensive stands for a second. Try to see if he can push for some shields. Just standing still, letting executes fly. Got himself damage. Dark Lane have enough here. Does he have enough? Actually does have an imprison to at least back the hell out of there. It is going to be a first aid, but I guess there's some sort of a bleed on him to deny it. It is going to be those ruins flying in. Does he have another stun or this time? Demon Hunter just backflip, second backflip with a hunt right after. Does have a stun to follow up. So as long as you don't let Demon Hunter get too much healing. While meta's active, I thought for some reason he was not a Draki, but he is definitely a Draki. Both of them are so low. Demon Hunter picking up just a little bit more health. I don't know where that came from. But he does get himself a bit of recovery. Flying up in the air, reflect up for Kragar, got himself a shield. Dark Lane is not about to lance himself here. If Kragar has a stun, not a stun for a second. Big execute. Does he have a second one? Another execute. Oh, lands last hit with Handy as an outlaw rushing out up next. Kragar given at least a second to get a breather. 30 seconds on a trinket. It is going to be a bit of damage from the get-go. Handy does play the coin flip rogue, so he's going to have a lot of passive damage. The more finishers he can spend, the more raw damage he's going to be able to build up versus Kragar. Because there's a buff that you can stack up for extra agility. There's all that passive damage or damage increase, which is actually kind of good. You can see Kragar's health melting. Evasion out for the rogue. Got himself a bit of that sippy. Kragar's health is just taking a beating right now. Does have himself a defensive in case you really ever absolutely needs one. Will need to do something to stun lock the rogue here for a second. May need some kind of a big heal. Blind. Handy does see Kragar not burning a trinket. Might be a trinket here. Does he not? He doesn't trinket. Stun. Does he have that execute? He needs one big execute, one big stompy. Getting a shot, and he needs an out here. I don't know if you can do much. Big execute, but Kragar does swipe him. Needs some health. Needs healing right now. Desperately does get himself a bit of that flurry. Gypsy looking to possibly get Kragar in the stun. Fear on the warrior, by the warrior. And Kragar does go for big defenses. Gypsy, as long as you can't walk away, you ain't gonna interrupt on that Ray of Frost. As long as Kragar doesn't go too far, doesn't get too separated from Gypsy, he might be okay. Ring of Frost can't stop it, but he can leap it. It's going to be a spear. Gypsy has nowhere to go. Brett does come through, trying to go for a Ring of Frost. If he gets interrupted, that's ice. Oh my god! That one was that hit there! I mean, he did a huge chunky hit onto the mage. Like, the mage knew, I got interrupted, I know I can't block, but what was that big hit by Kragar? He got some kind of a proc there. What happened? Double charge onto Lemonade. Does get himself one execute. Is it enough though? Lemonade does get himself a bit of that reap. Try to see if he keeps himself a bit of that distance. Kragar seeing a full meta, leaping out of it. It's going to be trying to go for the melee damage either way. It looks like the Demon Hunter was able to connect, trying to make that haunt while the meta work. Cannot do it. Meta unfortunately does fall off before he was able to really maximize the pressure, maximize the value. And it's going to be at least some of Demon Hunter's burst damage gone. However, Lemonade just needs a little bit more damage. He still got the big reaps, so he's doing okay. Kragar picking up a little bit of health. He's actually starting to recover even a little bit, even a smidge of health. Does get himself a charge on the shift from Lemonade. In prison, unfortunately, cannot escape it. It looks like Lemonade may have the imprison that you can't break out of. Or at least can't break out of it for damage. Lemonade is just chopping right through Kragar. May get a proc out of him. Does it go for the execute? No. It doesn't go for cheat death, I don't think. Unless he just dies? No cheat death out of Kragar. He does survive with barely any health. Second wind kicking in, first aid helping out. Lemonade does get himself the angle, at least try to, but it's going to be immediate storm bolt out for Kragar with the remnants of an avatar. Secondary avatar does proc. He got himself a couple of procs here. Playing into the Mountain Thane. Random procs of avatar are real nice for that big burst damage. And he still has a real avatar for later in case he needs to. There goes a full metamorphosis. Krager may need to use some cooldown here. That's a massive amount of melee damage. Just pick up a little bit of healing. Lemonade tried to keep his max distance. There goes a shift immediately off of that charged spear and cannot go anywhere. Void Ray at least able to connect with it. Krager does Zerka Rage out of the imprison, so it is something he can still break out of. Lemonade actually looking very, very healthy right now. At 22% damage, but he's still recovering just fine. Melee hit onto Krager, not quite enough to finish him off, but does get him kind of close. Krager isn't at a pseudo execute range, although Demon Hunters at least don't have any execute mechanics. So they don't have like any additional damage or any special abilities whenever somebody's low. Krager's trying to see if he can get himself out of there as best as possible. Lemonade may have to get a little aggressive here. Backflip, Krager has a Stormbolt, so I don't know if he can maybe make some work off of it. Stormbolt does connect, but it looks like Krager is playing this more defensively, a little bit more of a passive play. Has a fear in case he needs to use it. There goes the fear. With a shield for Krager, looking for recovery. He is going to throw a weapon at Lemonade. I don't really know what that would do, unless he's just trying to break through shield. Fear Sigil, trying to avoid it. Second wind, kick it in. Does allow for quite a decent bit of overall recovery. Krager's insane. Krager is insane, man. Look at this boy go. He's still hanging in. Lemonade at this point should have meta backup, though, so this is going to be very deadly for Krager. Does have a trinket. Big leap. Still massive damage out by Lemonade. Get himself the melee cleave. Krager barely recovering health. Chromatic Shout does get used. Picking up even more health. Stun does break out of it. It doesn't sit long in that at all. I don't think he... Oh, wait, he did trinket that. That was a trinket used. But unfortunately, that is an execute mechanic. I didn't realize Krager actually went down. I thought he narrowly survived it. But that is Fury Warrior for you, ain't it? Red Trick up next from one Fury into the next Lemonade. At the very least, he has a Metamorphosis that isn't cooldown based, so you might be okay. May need to drop a Darkness here. It's looking a little dire right now. Does go for the Darkness. Void Ray to get himself some resources. Fear by the Warrior. Still Lemonade taking huge hits of damage. Does have a Blur here very, very soon. Unfortunately, does go down as the Warrior just kept with him the entire time. Radimus is up next as a Retribution Paladino. I like the mount he's got going on. The big old rocket. Unfortunately, it's not the same as the Love Rocket, but it is pretty neat looking. Definitely pretty neat looking. Disarm onto Radimus as he does give himself the hammer build instead of the light Harbinger of Flame? Harbinger of Light? Why am I drawing a blank here? The Dawnlight build. Let's go with that, right? Let's go with the Dawnlight build. Let's go with that, yeah. As it is going to be Richard backing up out of there. Radimus looking for a bit of a reset as well. You gotta love the mount, man. It's such a good looking mount. The fact that it has a dismount animation, I feel like that's what Blizzard is probably gonna do for like the Last Titan as an expansion. Every mount is gonna come with a dismount animation, isn't it? It's gonna be like a panther that when you dismount it, just leaps away and then disappears into a smoke bomb. Or it's gonna be a bird that flies up into the air and disappears into like feathers flying everywhere. Or some sort of like a demonic entity that just steps into like a gateway and disappears. You're gonna have a lot of cool mounts, I think, out of it. I think they're definitely going to get pretty creative with it. I think they're going to get creative. Mount summoning animations from Dragonflight was the first step. Mount leaving animation is going to be the next. Because as soon as it's going to mouse, the birdie's going to fly. I want to see if I can... Oh, there it is. There it goes. It's so good. There it goes. It's flying. I'm actually having fun tracking the bird. Tracking these guys is easy, but the bird is a little different. Radimus does get disarmed. With Retric trying to see if he can keep up the pressure. The more rage Retric spends, the faster his cooldowns are going to come back. He does have a random proc of Avatar, which is huge. Should give him a lot of procs to work with. He also has a spear, so you could possibly push Radimus to at least press a bubble here. As long as he lands a spear correctly, may just get it right now. Lay on hands. Does he just keep the pressure? I feel like if he just keeps it on with a spear, he could pressure through all that lay on hands. Hodge does connect. Retric still has cooldowns rolling for a little bit longer. If he goes for a spear, no, playing defensive. Might be the safer play here, possibly better, but it's not quite. He went for a fear, but he mostly went to fish for a couple of bloodthirsts to get a heal or two. Shield of Venus, not gonna feel great unless you got to reflect. Yeah, that ain't gonna feel good. Plasma protection. Ooh, shattering throw. He's trying to see if he can get a bubble out of Radimus. Spear, it's gonna be a bubble, 100% guarantee. Big hammer comes through, bubble out of Radimus. Retric needs to escape. He's still got a defensive. Still got a defensive. Still got a defensive. With a shield on top of it, may need to go for a rage regen. Does Radimus have enough to take him down here? Actually, looks like Retric did pick up enough health to barely survive. That is going to be some building damage from that hammer, Execution's hammer above his head. But it shouldn't be enough to take him out, I don't think. It's going to be a decent bit of damage. Radimus is taking huge hits, and I think it might be dives for the... I don't know what happened with that animation. He just got teabagged him at the end, but that was double Fury Warrior walking around. Just walking out here. Landing kills. Okay. Let's see if we can get us another go. And apparently Fury Warrior is pretty good today. Cracker and Johnny, let me know when you both are ready. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. Where am I at? 50? Oh. Am I 50 like 6 or something? Yeah, I am. Okay, cool. No more, man. Just lost one now. All right, Johnny. Let's the group up, or if you need my help, invite me. We need one more for Team Johnny. Let me go pop the fan on because it's actually hot in my room, dude. It's actually warm. Like it's actually gotten. It was fine earlier, but now I started streaming. It's actually kind of warm. Let me get the fan going. I didn't even realize it was like pretty much 100 degrees outside until you guys started talking about the weather. And then I looked at my phone and the other day it was pretty close to 100, I'm pretty sure. But I wasn't streaming, so it wasn't that bad. Maybe it's because I also went to the pool. So maybe it's just like I cooled off with that. Actually, I mean, I can't really say I cool off in the pool. The water is... It's so hot outside, the water is generally fairly warm. So to say I cooled off is actually a lie. What the hell is this? This guy just linked the set. I mean, I guess it's kind of like... Maybe it will look better on org, but it does nothing for blood off. Yeah, I'm not sure what that set's supposed to be. It is a set, alright. Cracker, let me know when you're ready, my boy! Let me know when ready. Okay, we need Onomas. Multi-port, beautiful. Who else can I invite, man? I be needing help. Okay. I be trying. Chill cheat. Hey, wanna join Duels? Question mark? Shrine of the Storm. You guys doing time walkings? I can see if my mom want to join. Because it is a feral droid. That would add a little bit of variety. More or less, give or take. Still learning outlaw, but it feels like I'm doing no damage. What? I mean, usually when I play outlaw, I play trickster. That spec seems really, really good for damage. And you're just like, you build calm points and you get spenders. Right? I think it comes down to how many like between the eyes resets you get. And how good are you at consistently building and spending calm points. It's not a burst spec, it's not like a one-shot spec, although you can do some random one-bang damage. It's all about building and spending calm points as efficiently as possible. That's where the damage comes from. Like once you get ramped up and you're going, then you're going. Like things are melting. Warriors have been insane. I don't think that will change it. You should get some earplugs instead of a headset and less warmer that way. Probably true. I do have Bluetooth ones that I wear whenever I'm like reading a book or out for a walk or really doing whatever. Anytime I go outside or I'm just like, you know, cleaning around the house. You're probably right. I just find these comfortable. Again, wouldn't really be a lot of... These things are not really all that hot. It's only just because of the weather. I'm streaming, so my room is warmer than usual. Wasn't an issue. Yo, Dal, Viva Duels. Yo, what's up, Curdy? You want to join? You want to join some, my boy? If I see you, I'll be able to get you in. Okay, we need Onomas. Do we just get Saya at this point? Wait, hold on. Hey, wanna join Duels? See if maybe Sleepy Sham wants to join. That'd be fantastic. MML said no, unfortunately. Does Shadow join these? Welcome would not work really super well, would it? Presidel is in one of these, right? Somewhere. Yesterday makes a big difference with NPCs. It's hot on the outside. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like yesterday it was pretty hot, but my room felt kind of cold. It was fine, right? Zero issues. Today it's hot, and the only difference is I'm streaming versus not streaming. So it's just a guess more or less, but yeah. Down near Rivals season is banging. Everyone has 2 team ups. It's so much fun. Dude, I gotta get back into Rivals, man. I haven't played any of the newer characters or the last few characters they've added. So I think it'll be a really fun. I think it'd be very enjoyable. I don't know if I'll actually play the season. I don't really do competitive in Rivals, let alone like Overwatch. Never really done competitive there either. But like, it's just fun getting like the, I don't know, the battle pass or whatever, getting cosmetics and things. Not battle pass, but like the free version of battle pass, right? The freebies. The freebies for this season. Get all those unlocks. That's fun. Okay, we just need Uno Mas. Maybe we just pick up Saya at this point, just so we could have 5-man. Maybe. Oh, okay, he's in Temple Prowess, so maybe not. Wait, did I ask Ren? I think I would ask Ren actually. Let me see if Ren would be down. Okay, we just do Uno Mas and this group is good. I'm assuming Krager's group is good, right? Or is he looking for more? My B-net seems to be a little desynced though, unfortunately. I'm not seeing a message from him there. Dutch comp, there's 10 games per season for the skins. Yeah, exactly. I played this game in the middle of Warcraft Legion. Ever since then, Fury has always been my favorite spec. Yeah, Fury is really good. In Legion in particular, Fury had this cool mechanic where it would go for a wreck for 100% crit and combine together with the Gul'dan trinket that just spewed out this shadow and it did a ton of damage together. That was wild. 100% crit chance for a window. That was some burst, man. That was some damage. That was some big damage. Renegade? Okay, we'll get Renegade in here. As an evoker, I do want to see an evoker do something. Like, evokers have had it difficult. Ready? Evokers have not had an easy time. At all. Let's see if Krager is ready. Yes, beautiful. Let's do a Tolveron. Let's give the caster boys as much of a free room as possible here. I'm running ambush spec. Oh, okay. Ambush. Check the chat. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. I didn't see the party chat. Hopefully I didn't miss anything important. But I'll check it after this match. I don't know if ambush build is the go-to true handy. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. The only reason I'd say that is because I don't think ambush right now is supported enough, and it's not really worth putting points into. I think just going for like a normal auto-attacky Sinister Strike build is fine. You don't need to do ambush. Maybe like in the next patch, because ambush is getting better. Like it's buffing, they're buffing ambush damage by 60% if you take a talent, and reducing its energy cost if you take another talent. Maybe that'll be better for PvP, but as it is right now, it's not worth it. The good time where Outlaw, the Burst, and Death from Above one-shot targets. Bro, you're talking about WAD? Yeah, dude. With a 12-second stun, shadow image or whatever it's called, shadow reflection. That thing was wild. What do we got first? Rest in Hell as a Havoc Demon Hunter main versus Lemonade. Devourer versus Havoc. Lemonade is the first to take a hit. Rest in Hell, catch him, trying to see if he can catch up to him. It is going to go for a hunt first. No trinket out for Lemon. Actually, it does choose to burn a trinket. It is looking to maybe build up a little bit of damage himself. He's waiting out the meta. Needs to get a meta of his own. For Lemonade, I think it might come down to getting a big one-banger onto a Rest in Hell. If he could do it, he's going to go for those backflips to make sure he got distance. Double backflip yet again. He's got himself plenty of distance. And there goes the big meta. Now he needs a big setup into a big burst out for Rest in Hell flying up. This Lemonade going to try to see if he can fight him. I think he's gonna try. I think, unfortunately, meta does fall, but he is able to get a lot of damage on Resnell from a distance, though. Just from afar. Lemonade trying to see if he can keep a stun lock onto Resnell. He got himself a proper meta. This way, if you could just keep away from him, you're denying the meta potential for him. Does have huge mobility with some slows. Resnell trying to see if he can break past those. Again, more shifts out for Lemonade. Literally trying to see if he can just evade the other Demon Hunter as best as possible. Sigil and Misery, unfortunately, does not connect. Lemonade does eat a full stun, and it's a full recovery for Rest in Hell. If you can just keep your distance at Rest in Hell, not letting melee you, which as a Devourer is technically doable between the backflips and the shift and all those things, technically it is doable. Lemonade, however, is in a bit of a dire spot. Dots and Metamorphosis needs to go for a big setup. Gonna be Blur out for Rest in Hell. He's going to try to see if he can evade him. Melee hits are still connecting, doing a ton of damage. Resnell with a hunt of his own. Backflip out for Lemonade. Still got himself lots of range damage. Stun as Resnell trying to close the gap. Does go for a trinket. Does he have enough? More movement out for Lemonade. While meta is down for Resnell. This is Lemonade's perfect opportunity to maybe land the kill. It's going to be an interrupt and locking him on a Cosmic, unfortunately. And Resnell does take him out. Backflipping out of there. In case it's going to be Rogue attacking him. Yet another backflip. Tried to deny his stun. Does get to deny his stun though. Ambush is flying through by the Rogue. Sigil of Misery is going to be a trinket with a full kidney shot for Handy. The question is, do you have the burst? Do you have the damage? Does get in between the eyes. Stacking up some hits. I-Beam, however, is going to be brutal. He needs to do something against the Metamorphosis. Disarm. Blind. Unfortunately breaks his own blind, but it's okay. Maybe. Cheap shot. Grapple back in for a coup de grace. But it's going to be in prison. Resnell just needs another meta. Actually, I don't even know if he needs a meta. I think if he has himself the glaive, he can get himself a huge setup here, can't he? Ambushes do connect, but unfortunately, the Demon Hunter does have more than enough healing to deal with it. More than enough. Unfortunately, I think this shot is super DR'd. That already had no calm points on it, which is also unfortunate. Renegade is going to be up next, trying to land his sleep onto the DH. He is able to. Full mastery play is, full mastery burst is in play. Resnell knows to avoid it completely. That is a evoker. They do a lot of burst damage, and if you are right next to him, you could be in trouble. Does go for a huge immunity. Renegade just needs to land himself a full stun. Does he go for a stun? Deep breath. He may need it right now. He may need it right here. There goes the deep breath. Does stun Rest in Hell. You have another damage to follow up. Actually, he's starting to get some procs. Trinket for the evoker. Does he continue the range damage? He got himself another deep breath, able to get away from him, and yet another stun. If he got himself hovering some disintegrates, that could potentially do it. Try to see if he can disrupt him. Does not connect. I-Beam to follow. Does get himself the meta. The Demon Hunter does have some self-healing potential, but the meta is the only way to really keep himself afloat. If Renegade has another hover and a disintegrate and keeps max range from Rest in Hell, he could just put him basically on a leash with that blue line, just slowing him and melting him little by little. Renegade able to recover a little bit of health. Does have the immunity back up in case he needs to. Is going to go for the immune. Really aggressive use of the immune. Does try to go for a hover, but he's going to get hit with a stun instead. Shell shocked a little bit, though does not have a huge ability for a minute here. But he is going to pick up a little bit of self-healing sleepwalk. No interrupts. That's going to be full CC. He does have 2 seconds until he can deep breath. Does he go for a deep breath? Eternity Surge. Back it up out of there. Into a bit of a prison. You have, unfortunately, I don't know if a deep breath would have even done much there, but it's going to be double backflip out for Rest in Hell. Try to see if we can get ahead of Radimus before Ahaj does go down. And it is going to be Rest in Hell. Unfortunately, caught in a blind, but still, full burst is available for him. Trinket is available. He does have that full meta. So you could actually match up Radimus here. Radimus got a lot of self-healing and a lot of damage. Rest in Hell with the darkness down. Looks like he's waiting for a moment to maybe go for a meta. I think he was thinking of using darkness, thinking that Radimus was just going to stay with him. But instead, Radimus is actually backing up out of that. Laying hands really early for the Paladin. So for Rest in Hell, that's a pretty big ability being used pretty early on. Hodge to follow, choosing not to Trinket. He has plenty of health to work with. He's choosing to save the Trinket for when things actually get tough. So for Rest in Hell, right now, he's actually in a good spot. Just got to be very careful when he closes the gap to deal some damage. And when he backs up out of it. If he can go for a backflip to counter a Hodge, that would be ideal for him. Although timing it, trying to figure it out when to use it within the next 8 seconds might be tough. There goes a full magic immunity. Rest in Hell knows to back up out of here as soon as possible. He's got mobility. Backflip? Maybe you could go for a backflip? Flying up in the air, where Rasmus is actually nowhere near a pillar. He has to burn his mobility just to get himself some cover. That is actually a good move by Rest in Hell. Would have been even better if he was able to pull him way out of the way from pillar, like to a corner of room, but I don't think the Paladin would have taken the bait. Backflip? No Hodge out for Radimus just yet. Rest in Hell does close the gap in. Does he go for another backflip? He might be able to, actually. Maybe. I think, pretty sure Demon Hunter should have double of them. maybe a trick out of Rest in Hell. If he's not, unless he's not taking a lot of damage, choosing not to burn it, that's a matter. He covered a lot of health in that short window. And Radimus just goes down. Unfortunately, I guess Rest in Hell had some leftover dot damage and Radimus just didn't have a reaction time. I think trying to figure out, wait, do I bubble? Do I not bubble? Next global. And I think as soon as he went to press the bubble, that's where the dot ticked on him. A lot of paladins do end up going for like a lower GCD build, but that hits a lot harder. Very, very effective. So sometimes you literally don't have a global to press bubble because you want all damage. It does go for Sigil of Misery. It is going to stop Dark Lane in place. But Rest in Hell just throwing a couple of glaives, slowing the boy down as best as possible. Just try not to fight him right now. What is Blizzard thinking? Nerfing red damage by 2%. I know, right? Red's actually unplayable. How dare Blizzard? It's okay. They'll go and buff you guys by like 130% in the next season. Actually, isn't Red kind of overtuned on PTR right now in season 2 testing? I saw that Red apparently his damage is overtuned, like way. People are saying it's way overtuned. There's some kind of shenanigans going on apparently. There's a bunch of shenanigans going on, but a Red goes in, 8 targets, million DPS. Everybody's just like, what? Dark Lane actually finds himself super low in health. Does not have a trinket. That's going to be a fly up by the other Demon Hunter. Lance 1, Lance 2, and Lance 3. Doesn't even need all 3 of them. My goodness. Yo, Rest in Hell is actually nuts, huh? Actually nuts. I wonder actually, with Rest in Hell, do you use... That's actually a good question. When you guys do use the... because he was getting quite a decent bit of raw damage from those like cosmic orbs from the... What's it called? The what do you call it? Not, is it foil? No, folio. Why do I call it foil? What do you guys use for like the stat block? Do you just go for mastery, crit, or like just versatility procs? Because I imagine you should be Captain Versa pretty much, right? Let's get another one going. Cracker needs a second. Johnny's ready, but Cracker does need a second. Oh, Saya broke his hand. I didn't realize Saya broke his hand. Okay, so that's what he meant. He's playing one-handed. I didn't even realize. Okay, that explains it. Yeah. How did Saya break his hand? Did he say about it last week and I just forget? Am I a bad friend streamer guy? Am I a bad parasocial enabler? I was gonna say friend, but it's like I know Saya in game, but I don't know him as a person. So I'm like, what would be like a way to describe our relationship? I stream, he watches the streams, and he participates in duels, part of the community. It's as close to a friend as you can get without quite being a friend. When you stream or when you do content creation, I guess there's at some point you do realize like, oh, people know a lot about you, but you know very little about them. But it's like, it establishes some sort of relationship. So I guess I'm like, what, I'm a parasocial enabler? I guess that would be an accurate way of going about it. Man, the prop changes look good. Will be meta in season 2? I'm very sus. I'm very sure. That's what I heard other people say. Yeah, they say that the prop might have really good potential to be a meta. I haven't seen exactly what the talent changes were, but apparently there's a lot of good stuff. I only showed like the initial variation. But I did hear that apparently it's insanely good. I heard that it is insanely good, all the changes they've gotten. Like sense. Yeah, testing every build, go for it. Yeah, this would be the best time to get them tested. But yeah, if you do end up playing like the ambush build, we actually may end up playing Outlaw ambush build in next season, just because they're buffing it. Ready, beautiful. Let's go into that hook point. I did do an arena for casters, but like parasocial enabler of online homies. I mean, right? Like you wouldn't really call, like when you have a streamer you watch or a YouTuber you watch, you wouldn't really call them like, I mean, I guess you could like, if you're somebody who watches them, right? And they talk about themselves all the time, you know a lot about them. But in reality, they don't really know a lot about you. So like, you wouldn't really call it a friendship, because a friendship, you know a lot about them, they know a lot about you, right? Like I have friends, there's like maybe one of them now. Don't have a lot of them. But I have a friend, I know a lot about her, she knows a lot about me. That wouldn't be parasocial, right? I hope. Maybe, or maybe I'm just delusional. But like, so I had to have another word for it, so I imagine it's just like a parasocial enabler. Almost like a title, right? That fits, I think. Sometimes, I'm using my brain here. Townships are allowed to make all the important towns that are with the garbage ones. I did also hear that apparently you don't have a lot of build variety. Is that true? Which? That may actually be probably better, but maybe they'll solve some issues of try to give you core while also giving you some choices, some impactful choices. Lemonade immediately rushing around the corner before Satos can even take a breath, before he can even blink, dude. The backflip into a shift, into immediate void blade, into immediate AoE, into immediate backflip. That is so much movement in like a global, because everything is half a global or even off the GCD. Everything is either half a GCD or off a GCD. So by the time you blink, you miss it. Lemonade, oh, how did I not connect? I swear you looked straight at him. I feel like for Lemonade, you should have definitely been able to find the rogue. He definitely connected with him for a second. Maybe you just gotta I-beam a little slower to make sure you like scan for it. It literally was like a radar trying to scan for this rogue. Movement again. Let's see if another bit of movement. Try to see if you can get some more movement. Let's see how the melee hit. So apparently, unfortunately, the metamorphosis does fall off. Lemonade still chasing after Satos, who's waiting out until another kidney shot. He's waiting for the DRs, man. Full lockdown by the rogue. No blaze this time. Is it going to be enough? Lemonade at no health at all. Unfortunately, rogue does take him out. Not much you could do against a rogue as a demon hunter at times. A renegade is another class that also sometimes gets shut down by demon hunters, by rogues as well. Gouge is just trying to get himself some kind of defenses. Man took a lot of damage and is just forced to just play defensively right now. Trying to go for movement. Root unfortunately does not connect. That knock I feel like should have definitely connected with the rogue. I feel like that knock definitely should have done something. But the rogue is going to go for full CC chain. Pop in, stun lock, back away. Shadow Blades this time, Trinket immediately out for Renegade. That's what Rogue is looking to play defensively. Rogue does not want to waste his Shadow Blades. Cheap shot, Gouge. I feel like the Rogue could have just pressed Cloak and just pump damage. But no, ooh, Renegade almost catches him. He's going around. Take another left turn. Oh, wait, If he took a left turn there, he would have definitely been on top of the Rogue. But yeah, there's no way he would have thought the Rogue would be in between of the walls here. At least those Shadow Blades, even though it's still going to be very painful. Less painful. The mail armor, the physical defenses of Evoker do show up here this time. But man, Renegade is trying to see if he can find the guy. Fire Breath unfortunately does not connect. And the Rogue is going to get himself a full reset yet again. This Rogue, man. This Rogue. All Renegade can do is just kind of hang out by the wall. I think he did end up knocking him there. Kidney shot? They have enough. The Rogue got a coup de grace. Does not follow up with a cheap shot. It is going to be Gouge as the root comes through. For Renegade, hopefully it does mean he finally gets a full CC onto the Rogue and can actually lock him down for at least a moment. Into an immunity, the Rogue steps, trying to make some damage, but unfortunately that is going to be immunity out for the Evoker. Does go for the big mastery potential damage. I don't know what happened. He's kind of like glitched. Oh, he's so glitched. But as soon as the VRs come off, deep breath, I don't know if he has anything. Evoker unfortunately does go down. That is rough. Handy up next. This Rogue so far is just absolutely massacring these boys, but he's played it very, very, the word wouldn't be predictable. It would be very, not passive, by the book. He's definitely playing it very by the book is the way I would describe it. Ooh, it is going to be handy. Unfortunately, getting AoE'd out with a Phantom Knights. Does get a cheap shot onto Satos, able to lock him down. Killing spree does go through. Be able to get himself some damage and some great follow-up, especially if he's not playing the Fate Bound. Because then, the Unseen Strikes are huge amounts of damage. Huge shields out for Satos with an evasion. Handy, I think, is able to connect with it between the eyes either way, though. It's got a lot of procs of it. Getting a shot, but unfortunately, the Sub-Rogue does not have the burst. Evasion out for Satos. Does get himself a cheap shot to follow. How did he get a cheap shot? Oh, Vanish. That's what it was. Vanish. But a full first aid out for Satos. And Handy did try to see if we can go for some pistols on him. Handy needs to be very, very careful of the next go by Satos. If we can destroy him, that would be ideal, or even a blind would have been great. But unfortunately, Satos does wait until the stun DRs are off and does go for another go. So far, 3 have fallen to the Sub-Rogue, who's played it very predictably. But I don't mean that in a bad way. That actually sounds really bad. But he played it very standard. CC, wait until stun DRs fall off, and then go back for more CC. Cheap shot, secret technique, get some damage, walk away. Walk away. Walk away. That is Shadow Blades there, unfortunately. I feel like when you do use Shadow Blades, that's where probably at least every fiber of my being is like, press the advantage. That's where you cloak, because I feel like sometimes you can just push the other guy over the edge in a lot of the cases. but I think he just tried to play it super safe just so he has defenses for the next guy. And the guy after that, Radimus, I think he has the Dawn Light. Yeah, so it's actually going to make it a little harder for Satos to get a setup. Still goes for a kidney shot, still making every single one of those stun DRs massive value. That is going to be a bubble out for Radimus really aggressively. Try to see if you can potentially punish Rogue. But Shadows right after as a Rogue looking for a reset, but that consecration is going to pop a slow on him either way. And they should put him in combat here, or keep him out of stealth at the very least. Does go for Smoke Bomb? Smoke Bomb was a choice. But unfortunately, Radimus does not set that CC long at all though, and is going to be able to, again, get the dots back on the Rogue. No Cloak Shadows this time, and getting those huge proc Satos, I think may just have to go for a gouge, maybe even a blind from that distance. But he's definitely looking for a bit of a reset. Sippy Cup is at least keeping him nice and healthy. Kidney Shot again, as soon as those stun DRs are gone. Satos is making sure to maximize the value. Shadow Blades was again in play, has advantage in case he needs to. Does burn a Battle Master Trinket just to give himself a little more health to work with. And I think he's just going to try to see if he can wait out until the Kidney Shot is back up and available. Does go for a Trinket here. He's going to be advantage trying to avoid the Dawn Light damage to him. But unfortunately, it is going to connect either way. Satos should have himself a huge stun combo. Maybe. No more bubble out of Radimus. Is this enough? Lay on hands in between. Satos does go for a blind. Can maybe go for a reset. Sippy Cup is keeping him alive, though barely. Does get himself a decent enough killing at 29% dampening. But for now, yeah, he is looking for a bit of that resetty with the first aid as well. Unfortunately, that Radimus almost got him out in AoE, but he just didn't have quite the angle, quite the right positional to it. Shadow Blade's coming back up in 20 seconds for Satos. Radimus does not have a big immunity for this, but at least he has a trinket, so he's going to be able to get out of the stun. And if he times it correctly, should be able to dissipate a lot of that Shadow Blade's damage and not deal with it too badly. I think he might just have to wait and save that trinket for next time Shadow Blades goes through. Stun before Satos can even get an answer here into a Wake of Ashes out for Radimus. Just letting the dots do work. It is going to be Shield of Vengeance. Shadow Blades is in play. Letting Shield of Vengeance do damage. Satos is going to continuously get damage back to back, but Satos does back up out of there. Technical Radimus does not have any more defenses. I feel like that's where Satos could definitely press the advantage with the Shadow Blades and coup de grace procs, but it looks like he's not going to go for it. Blind, Cloak, and Vanish are available. I feel like Satos might just want to go super aggressive here. I feel like if he plays too defensively, he might just get punished for it. That's a back in. Radimus does not have a lot of health. Cloak of Shadows to free you. And Radimus, I think, may go down. The Satos just stay in. I think he just needs to. Shadow Strikes and Eviscerates is all you got, friend. Vanish is available, so you can always use that for a resetting. Or at least just pick up a little health. I think you just go for a full reset. I don't know about a full reset. I feel like he could have just ended the duel there. But he is going to go for a reset. This does give Radimus a chance. Also lets those Lay on Hands, Blessing of Protection, and more important, the Bubble, come off cooldown just a little bit at a time. As we're hitting that pretty much 40% dampener. Healing is going to be greatly reduced. Stun right after. Trinket available for Radimus, so he always has an answer here. Satos also has a Trinket. Does choose to burn it here. Radimus is going to go for self-heal. He's out of mana though. But he still does have the hammer over Satos' head. I think he does want to connect to get the dots rolling, but he can't. He's literally just waiting for mana at this point. Bubble, though, in 16 seconds, so I think he's actually going to have an answer. Yeah, now he's going to have an answer. He's got himself one last heal, but he still has a good answer for the Rogue. Cheap shot. Go Trinket in case he needs to. Choosing not to. This is enough, though. Rogue gotta get him low. Rogue got him real low. Stun with the Wake of Ashes. Does Radimus use it defensively? Looks like he does. It looks like he's still looking for a self-heal. Bubble does go through. Try to see if he can maybe take out the Rogue if at all possible. Evasion for the Rogue got himself sprint. Well, Sippy Cup. Radimus still has a trinket, so he's not completely out of the woods. Not completely done. But, like, I feel like the Rogue could have ended the duel a lot sooner, but I'm wondering now if Satos does still secure a win. Does he still secure a victory here? Or does he get punished? Because he's now without a trinket, no cloak, doesn't vanish. But that is the Dawn Light. If the Paladin just cranks all Dawn Lights, every single charge onto the Rogue with those Templars, the Rogue is going to take a lot of damage. It looks like Radimus may have to go for a trinket stun next combo here. Especially with 18 seconds on the Shadow Blades for Satos. I don't think Radimus will be able to take that damage up front. He does pick up eyes though. Stun trades, not ideal. For the Pally, I guess it's good for the Rogue actually. Better for the Rogue than the Paladin here. Radimus does get hit with a cheap shot. Does he have enough to heal? Ah, no, he does not. 50% dampening. The Rogue just went in. The Rogue played the slow and steady game and does end up recovering there. I was honestly thinking the Rogue may go down, Trinket out for Dark Lane, trying to see if he could take out Sados right then and there. Sados with Shadow Blades. I feel like Sados needs to pop a cloak and just do the damage. Shadow Blades, and you got a ton of output. Dark Lane is going to try to see if he can fight against you, but I think for the Rogue, he's going to go for Vanish instead. Is this going to be the right play? I feel like the Rogue is maybe underestimating the fact that Shadow Blades and Trickster, with those coup de grace, does so much damage. You could just Shadow Dance and crank out Shadow Strikes and Eviscerates, and that alone can pressure the other target. But does he just take it here? Big coup de grace, cheap shot, locks him. Darkness, barely keeping the Demon Hunter alive. Looks, he's gonna play it slow and steady. Slow and steady, blind. Doesn't even want to let Chance take him out here. Doesn't even want any procs or nothing to be his end. The Rogue has a Trinket, Cloak, everything. Nothing for Dark Lane with a Sap. Stun, Trinkets immediately. Does Dark Lane do something here? Backflip maybe? Metamorphosis, maybe meta to stun? Maybe meta to stun. Hold on a second. Vanish out for the Rogue. Does go for a Shadow Strike. Dark Lane gets hit with a cheap shot. I think it's over. Yeah, this Rogue does take him out. Very slow, but very steady. I feel like it's been a second since we've seen a sub-rogue just play stun, vanish, reset. You know what I mean? I feel like normally we see sub-rogues do get lockdowns, but like they're a lot more brazen. They just sit on you and Shadow Strike it down. They can just push pressure for no reason. I always sound like as the Paladin, like the Rogue, I feel like he's peeling away too often. I feel like if he just stuck in there, that would have ended, but maybe Slow and Steady does honestly win the race. Cracker and Johnny, let me know when you both are ready. We'll send another one. Ready? Beautiful. Let's go into Dalaran sewers. Didn't realize the Rogue was gonna do him like that. 450 feet, I think it is. Oh, we got another Evoker. I'm excited. Still looking for my main sub-leveling character of the week for duels. Only started midnight. Yeah, right now would be a good time to get a bunch of characters leveled, man. Getting leveled in gear though, gear takes a little bit of time, but getting leveled is pretty good. Kind of funny. DM is supposed to be anti-rogues and the other can't do anything. Exactly. Yeah. Another class that actually can't do much against rogues is Death Knights, man. It's crazy. Oh yeah. One day to gear with crates? Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, if you're doing crate farming the entire time. Which. I remember crate farming took a while. Like it took a few hours to really get fully geared, but did it make it faster? I do hope they make like open world content and just like hanging out in the open world zone in Voice from the World PvP one more rewarding than crate farming. I really think they should buff those rewards a ton. Because it's a cool zone, cool idea. Imagine cost of PvP. I think there should be more events and it should be a lot more rewarding. It should be, just don't nerf crates, just make it more rewarding than crates. Just grouping up on a 5-man and just doing a bunch of objectives, more rewarding than crates. Win or lose. I think it'd be sick. Renegade, trying to see if you can go for a bit of a knock as I'm having my own diatribe here on, say, the World PvP. There's going to be a spear. Renegade may have to go for immunity, choosing to go for just a little bit of a wall, trying to see if he can claw down the warrior. Is going to get locked down. Trinket does go through with a disintegrate. If he can stay mobile and disintegrate Rhetoric, he can't do anything. He can't stop him. Trying to see if he can stay on him as best as possible. Is going to go for one more charge. Needs those executes. Renegade does still have an immunity. More movement, more disintegrates. Rhetoric does pick up decent bit of health though. The warrior does not want to go down without a fight. The evoker trying to keep himself afloat here. Turning surge unfortunately is not going to connect. And if he's not careful, Rhetoric is going to start recovering health. For Renegade, maybe it's a good idea just to reset. I know he does not want Rhetoric to catch up in health with second wind. I know he really doesn't want that. But you're going to make it. It's going to happen anyway. It's going to make sure it happens anyway. Renegade with a deep breath is going to stun lock the warrior for a second. But Renegade at the very least looks like he's not going to be able to go for a follow-up after, which is unfortunate. Normally, Deep Breath is like the big ability for evokers, and they usually do a big follow-up after, but there he uses it more for mobility. At least that has a very short cooldown, so he's got stuff to work with here. He does have immunity. He may need to be very careful with that immune. Root onto Rhetoric. Unfortunately, does not have the angle. I don't know if he can really go for a breath ability from here, but yeah. Unfortunately, just didn't have the angle in that case. Does go for a knock. Retrick being very careful when he goes for a stun. There goes the immune. This is where you could actually go for a proper stun, huh? Try to go for a big Colossal Smash. Stun right after. Renegade will not have a defensive unless he got mobility. Trying to go for Sleepwalk is going to reflect on himself. Got himself wall here as well. Could use it. May need it. Definitely needs it. Does get himself at least a defensive. Looking for a bit of that healing. I think he may just have to go counter pressure damage onto Retrick as best as he can. He's got him mobility. That would be the best time to do it. Also has a big mastery combo here, so you could make something happen. Big fire breath, huge mastery. Deep breath is available, so you maybe could make that deep breath work. Maybe fly up to the top platform. Deep breath off of that interrupt is gonna go back. Does he have enough damage? Needs those disintegrates. He needs another deep breath. Is going to go for a second deep breath with a wall out for Retrick. More procs out for Renegade. Got him some movement. He's got to remember he can hover while mid-cast. You can now hover mid-cast, so you don't have to interrupt the cast. Reflect for a second just to get a sleepwalk onto Renegade. Unfortunately, I have to trick it those on sleep. But does he have the damage? Because Retrick does not have much to really work with. That fire breath is going to burn him for quite a while. Denying the self-heals. Shield, unfortunately, as a embellishment is going to give him a nice bit of protection. With the fear out as Renegade having to see if he can back up out of it. There goes the immune as Retrick trying to make some damage happen. With that shield, it was enough just to pick up some second wind healing. Renegade, though, does need to get himself those casts as fast as possible. The more disintegrate casts he can get, the better. Right now, he's just in a rough spot. Those executes are going through, and Retrick does end up slamming down on him with his massive claymore. Taking him out. With Darkling going to be up next. Demon Hunter does weave around the boxes, but it's going to be in a prison onto Retrick, who just zerkers out of it. Literally so angry, he breaks out of a prison. So angry, just breaks through these shackles. I can break these cuffs. The embodiment of it. Retrick, unfortunately, is going to go down. It is a warrior versus a Demon Hunter. The amount of self-healing you have versus a Demon Hunter is limited. Very limited. Demon Hunters at least can heal while doing damage. Warriors, they have some abilities they can use for damage, but not all. Alanius is going to be up here, is going to get interrupted for a second. Huge movement out of the Demon Hunter, but the Evoker keeping his distance the entire time. There goes the wall, cannot be interrupted. He goes out of the deep breath. It is going to be a metamorphosis, or it is a meta? No, not a real meta, but he does get a proc of meta, and lots of catch up for Dark Lane, though. I'm actually very surprised Alanius having to back up out of it entirely. He is going to take it easy. Looks like he's out of mobility, out of certain cooldowns. Wants to be very, very careful with what cooldowns he uses here. Lead by the Demon Hunter as he closes the gap. Alanius does go for disintegrates from a distance. Imprisons are going to stop him. Dark Lane at the very least has a couple of abilities he could use in order to keep Alanius at bay here. And unfortunately, you can see the Evoker. He's trying to see if he can create some distance, but he is stuck at a 25-yard range, which is perfect for the Demon Hunter because you can always close the gap all that easily into a quick interrupt on that sleep. While out for Alanius, realizes that's too much damage for him to bear. Is going to be a backfill for Demon Hunter to close the gap. Alanius does have a deep breath. Unfortunately, does not stop Dark Lane. Trying to go for a second deep breath. It does not stop him either. Does he have a stun for deep breath? I would hope he has a stun with deep breath. Dark Lane is picking up plenty of self-heals, man, but there goes the procs. Actually looks like Alanius finally catching up some damage. Trying to go for a knock-up or knockback onto Dark Lane, but I don't think it connected. Got himself a shield, and the Evoker trying to use everything he can to survive. Does get interrupted on sleep, but has access to all the other abilities. He has access to all the other colors. All the dragon rainbow. He has green, red, blue, bronze, and black dragonflight spells to work with. Get interrupted on one means you have access to the rest of them, but unfortunately with that stun, Dark Lane does slay him. That is the life of an Evoker in PvP, unfortunately. Unless you got a healer keeping you alive, you can't just focus on damage. And self-survivability on that class is unfortunately very limited. With how good Evokers are for PvE content, I am surprised Blizzard just doesn't really let him shine, except for Preservation within PvP. But maybe that's how Blizzard thinks of it, right? They're like, you know what, well, Preservation is already good in PvP. Can't have all three specs doing something good, right? Augmentation, played in Mythic Plus, and quite good in raids. Preservation, actually not terrible in raids, is it? But also good in PvP. It's just unfortunate the Devastation is the only one that's like devastatingly not great. It's fun. Numerically, it's probably really good. It's probably okay. It just does not make the Melissa meta by any means, by no shape or form, which is super unfortunate. It is going to be a special kick. Try to see if we can catch a reset. Dark Lane just constantly putting pressure on the rogue here. Backflip and back to back. Actually does end up walking next to the rogue with an immolation. What is that sap? On his I-beam. I thought the I-beam was already putting him in combat, but I guess not. It looks like it is going to be a quick coup de grace. Chop, chop. The boy goes down. Choppin' suey. Right? Is that how it goes? Chop suey? That's what that means? Pretty sure it has a whole nother meaning. Big double back-to-back melee hits, but it's gonna be meld. I'm surprised the meld does connect. Does go for a meta. This way Lemonade doesn't have weapons, but doesn't matter. Does he not have eyes? Should be able to see the rogue, right? Sees him. Oh, unfortunately, rogue saps, but no. One melee hit, does back up out of it. Second melee hit needs to connect, does go for it. He's all over the place, hard to track him. Gouge immediately as soon as he kills the gap. With the stun right after, has a couple of reaps and consumes. Is it enough though? Oh, unfortunately, Quick Shadow stop gaps a lot of the damage. Lemonade with his sigil of misery, hoping the rogue is going to step on him, but it's not going to happen. Kidney shot right after, no out for the demon hunter. The rogue with a big chop. He goes in for the chop. You have the damage though. As Lemonade is picking up a decent bit of health. At least I hope he is. Sap though yet again with the shadow blades. Ooh. What's he have it here? Deep shot. Lemonade does break out of it fairly quickly though. Fall down, backflipping out of there. Actually good backflips. Rogue has left with nothing, and the last reap actually looks like it curved into the rogue. It looks like it is going to be another rogue. Sados is up next. Lemonade does drop a darkness. Sados knows not to attack him there, but Lemonade may have to go for a pre-blur here. Unless you can just catch Sados. Or, I was going to say meld, but that's not going to work. He does see him. Unfortunately, Lemonade does not have a pre-blur here. Stun. Meta. You can go in for like a meta damager. Maybe you can make something work. Big hits on the Sados. We're just going to take the damage to the face. Vanish does come through. He's going to go for a step. Lemonade does have a blur by the looks of it, but I don't know if he actually does. Maybe it's just the game telling me he does, but he doesn't. 45% dampening, making it really hard for the Demon Hunter to do anything here. Try to go for the big hunt, but unfortunately Gouge stops him. Cheap shot. It's over. It's over. And that's going to be Handy up next, charging in before the other rogue can get himself any kind of reset. Trinket immediately. Trinket back to Handy. Kidney shot right after. It's trying to make the damage happen. Evasion out for Sados. The killing spree, unfortunately, does not get a lot of his damage through, but still, it doesn't matter. That just procs the damage procs for you. Handy, the next abilities he does connect with is going to do huge damage. Because he got himself a lot of those, like, hidden opportunity strikes. He's got a lot of those banked up. Honestly, even for PvP, killing spree is such a weird button because you don't even use it for damage. You just use it, like, you will use it for damage when you can, but you really use it for those hidden opportunity procs to get more coup de grace. You really just use it for the procs. You don't really care for killing spree as a button. Although, next patch, with killing spree buffed by 60%, that's going to be some damage. That's going to be some BS. That's going to be some wild stuff, I'm hoping. There's a lot of potential in that one. Unless Blizzard nerfs it, which I totally could see them. Because right now, like, weird thing about Outlaws, right now you will play Trickster, which requires you to have the ability of killing spree. You just play Trickster without killing spree. So yeah, you miss a chance of, like, to utilize that one talent that allows you after killing spree next to abilities of proc, hidden strikes, hidden blades, unseen strikes, unseen blades. What are those 4 choices? I can't remember. But you basically just don't play that talent. You just play it normally. Let the procs happen naturally. You literally ignore part of the mechanic to do more damage. It is silly. Kidney shot out for Sados. Trying to see if he can crank out some output versus Handy. Big coup de grace and Handy with a gouge. I don't know if he has himself a full kidney shot or anything here. Does go for between the eyes. Actually popped him with between the eyes while blind is still on the guy. Interesting choice. But look at the procs. Look at those procs. Hell, even if you just pistol shot at him, you can do damage from a distance. Look at that. Those unseen blades are huge. The rogue, the other sub-rogue, does go in for a shield. Blind right after. Handy does have a human racial, so you can break out of the next stun. He can break out of it. Human racial? No, unfortunately, he doesn't use it. I don't know if he, maybe it was on cooldown. Maybe it's a bug on my end. Maybe it's something for me, but he did have a human racial. At least it looked like he did. Maybe it's a UI bug. Get a shot. Sados knows. He's like, I'm probably dead. Sados can vanish to give himself a little more health, but he's just trying to see if he can burn through health from Radimus. I feel like Sados just needs to press vanish and just do dances. Whatever he's got, right? At this point, you get out and have a lot of things to work with. Radimus is probably going to be able to dot, yeah, but maybe we shouldn't discount Sados. Smoke bomb. Like, there's nowhere for the rogue to go. Blind right after. Get a shot. Cheap, Hodge now. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. I don't want to discount this rogue. But there's just absolutely no way, right? There's absolutely no way, right? There's absolutely no way, right? Right? If this guy actually brings back victory after getting that low, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I've always said this. Rogues get away with some of the funniest things. I see it time and time again. Hell, I've been in that situation. Rogue just get away with some of the wackiest things. Just for no reason. There's literally no mechanic. He doesn't have cheat. Oh wait, no, he does have cheat death actually. Didn't even proc. Didn't even proc. I was gonna say there's no mechanic that allowed him to stay at 1 health. He just had just enough health and just faint. I guess maybe faint. Reduce the damage just enough. No, there is a random proc now actually. You can sometimes reduce the damage by 20%. Maybe that's what proc for him. I don't even know. Cheap shot onto Radimus. His SATA's gonna have enough damage. He's got Shadow Blades, but that hammer, he's not sure about it. Blind is available. May have to go for a blind here. Right? I think there's no way, right? Cloak! Cloak! You have Cloak. You have Sippy Cup. She dead the proc. Get this shot. Bop. Cloak. Let him free. You let him go. Out on parole. Oh no. Satos, your health. He has dance. Hold on. He has dance. The other guy has a trinket though. Ooh. What? No, 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 no. That did not just happen. That did not just happen. That did not just happen. Okay, my UI might be broken because Radimus looked like he had a trinket, but he didn't press it. I know Radimus would have seen a trinket and he would have pressed it. I know Radimus is well aware of his trinket button. He's very well aware of it. He's been around for too long. I don't think my UI works. I don't think my UI works. I don't think the human racial was tracking. I don't think trinkets are tracking properly. Like at this point, it's just rogues, man. Am I right? Am I right? They get away with some things no other class will be able to. Put a warrior in that situation, dead. Put a death knight in that situation, dead. Put an evoker in that situation, dead. Twice over. Put a rogue, somehow survives. How? There's no explanation. We don't have a talent that, I mean, he actually did, but not never proc. Actually did proc at the end. But like, there's nothing in the world that would be like, yeah, you just live. Johnny, do you have full? Me too. I can get Stellar back in your group. I got Stellar. I got the group. Rogues and Paladins. I got you. I got you. That group. Stellar. Invite. There we go. We need Uno Mas, boys. One more. Uno Mas. One more. And we'll be good to go. Dog dealer? Did I ever some Marcy before? I didn't. Maybe Marcy want to join? I'll see if you'd be interested. We need one more, and we'll hopefully be good to go. Leveling Fury next week. Oh, that's a good choice. Fury seems kind of good. At least with PvP, they're fun. They're definitely a lot more fast-paced. That's the thing that I like about Fury and Arms, is how one feels slower but more methodical, while the other is more berserk, fast-paced, carpal tunnel. Although I did play the new version of Arms in Season 2, and that thing is fast-paced. I feel like I'm slamming my abilities constantly. I feel like there's no downtime. I kind of hate it. I kind of want Arms to be a more slower spec than what they got going in PTR. X-Trail. Do we pick up another Paladin? Okay, I think we pick up another Paladin. Saya, I'm sorry. Now Saya's gonna be like, Dal, why you do this to me? Do you hate me? Because I literally denied Saya a duel and was like, I just don't want too many Paladins, and here we are double Paladin. Like, I'm a hypocrite. Look, the reason I decided not to go double Paladin is not to have too many Paladins, but I then, when we were trying to put the groups together, I was like, oh, let's take it a second. I don't want to make the other group wait too long. I don't want to wait for their lunch to get colder. So we got Stellar. Ooh, Stellar. Wait. Oh wait, Stellar is Stellar. Okay, cool. That makes sense now. Level in Fury next week. I'm back in Wrath King. Back in Wrath, I played Arms, so maybe it fits me better. Demon Hunter Rogues are just not for me, I guess. I thought you played fine as a Demon Hunter, honestly. But yeah, that would be the best time to just like try a bunch of alts, see what you like, see what you can get into, see what you enjoy. I would also give a Paladin a try at some point, Andy. They're everywhere, so maybe you'll like them. I know that they're like kind of OP in like duels specifically. I don't know if you enjoy meta classes or not, but like a lot of people play Paladin in general since War Within. They've been fairly popular in Midnight too. Which might be worth trying, right? Since everybody plays one. Maybe you'll like it. Who knows? Smeshka is going to be first up versus Radimus. You know Radimus wants a rematch, dude. You know Radimus wants a rematch. Wait, actually no. That Smeshka is the wrong rogue. Wrong rogue. Wrong rogue. Right class, wrong rogue. Right? Right. I played mainstream classes. Me too! Dude, that's why I started playing initially Assassination on my rogue. Back in like what? I think it was Mists of Pandaria leveling. I remember them being not as popular. And then I switched over to combat pretty quickly, especially for PvP, because I was like, oh, wait, nobody plays one? But you can get an 8-second stun? Red buff Shadowblade's killing spree? Wait, that should be OP. That should be really strong. I want to try it. I had a lot of fun with it. Definitely was like a weird spec. Definitely was not subtlety, which is what everybody played. But it was really, really good overall. I actually had fun with it. And somebody went, Woundman went rank 1 with it too, which was kind of nuts. Then again, you could pair any class with an enhancement chum in that era, and you could probably go rank 1, couldn't you? They still did really good. It's going to be cheap shots on Radimus. Smeshka backing up out of there, taking a lot of damage, does go for advantage, still holding on to a trinket. And we'll see where these guys go next. But yeah, I'm usually the same handy. Like, whenever there's a spec that's like meta that everyone plays, for some reason I have an aversion to want to try it, and I try to play the underdogs. You know? Path less traveled is just something that I always enjoyed. Bubble out for Radimus, that is huge for the Smeshka. Did have to burn a trinket. Dots are on him either way though. So if Radimus can really get all those Dawn Lights on him, he'll be able to do quite a decent bit of raw damage to him. Blind right after Smeshka looking for a potential reset behind the pillar. He's just trying to see if he can just wait out the damage. Did Radimus burn all his Dawn Lights? It looks like he had to send the rest of them onto himself, but he's already healthy. Still sees the rogue, so it looks like he picked up the... No! Just had the rogue dotted, I imagine. Blessing a Saint is perfect, countering the rogue's kidney shot with that. Focus shot is for Smeshka because the rogue is actually going through a lot of cooldowns. Radimus, unfortunately, having to burn through all these forbearance buttons. Bop, Bubble, and now Laying Hands have all been used. Shiv by Smeshka, disarm as he sees the Paladin closing in. And just try to see if he can wait him out. Hodge available in 15 seconds. Smeshka is actually doing okay for now. He's just looking for a reset if at all possible. Shadowblades and Cheap Shots, however, are back trinket by the Paladino. This is where the Smeshka wants to lock down Paladin. Radimus might be in a lot of trouble, actually. Might be in a heap of trouble. Stun. Does have a Wake of Ashes. Does he go offensively or defensively with it? Looks like he's going to go some offense. But he definitely needs to go some defense as well. Looks like he's mostly going to prioritize self-healing here. For the Smeshka with innovation, he's looking for recovery as well. And the Rogue is just able to stay on Radimus, build damage, wait until another dance. Kidney shot. Should be able to get him proper setup here. Does he have enough output? Try to see if he can make a play. Cheap shot to follow. And the Smeshka just try to see if he can back up out of there for a second. The Rogue does not have that much longevity in terms of cooldown or in terms of survivability compared to Radimus with how much self-healing he can do. Radimus try to see if he can maybe pre-stop the cheap shot. Wouldn't be a kidney shot of the Rogue. But unfortunately, it does not get him off. Does not get him out with that CC. Radimus eating yet another kidney shot. Does not have a Blessing Saint for this one. Does the Smeshka have enough damage? You got Radimus super low. Hold on a second. Disarm. Radimus needs something right here, right now. Otherwise, it's over. Wake of Ashes. Self-heal. But it's not enough. It is not enough. The Rogue can just pressure in damage. And I do like how the Smeshka is fairly aggressive with how he plays it. X-Trail is going to be up next, though, as another Red Paladino. Dalaran who has his back, kinda. What's up, Rosie? How you doing, my man? Hope you're having a good one. How are you doing, friend? The Smeshka with a Hodge does go for the trinket. X-Trail, human racial use also. So actually a pretty big trade. The Smeshka is just staying in. Cloak maybe? No. The Smeshka does have cooldowns though. Oh, that Judgment still connects? I'm surprised. I didn't know he really had an angle. Vanish out for the Smeshka as to looking for a bit of that resetty. He's got himself a little bit of a self-heal. X-Trail does try to see if he can close the gap while the dots are on the road, so you can still find him. Got himself full CC. Does he have the damage? Does he have the pressure? He has himself a Hodge. Wake of Ashes in play. X-Trail, does he go offensive or defensive here? Looks like he's going in for damage. The Smeshka may just melt. Cloak of Shadows bop out of for the Paladin. Especially is able to live, but still holy strike damage. The physical portion does go through. Melt for just a second. Especially may need to maybe step gouge. Cheap shot. Last second. Blind. No, it didn't blind. Didn't blind. Gouge. No. Good shot. Let's see if enough. Exhale. Do you trick it? Oh, bubbled it. He bubbled it. He bubbled it. He bubbled it. Exhale is like, you know what? If I don't press a button, it feels bad to press a button when the rogue is so low, but if I press a button now, I'm dead. Exhale, unfortunately, didn't have to send a lot. Dude, this rogue got a lot out of these paladins. I'm pretty sure Lay on Hands is the only thing Exhale has left in him. So, I guess the Kragar. Well, no bubble, no bop. I don't know what you can do. This guy is just a machine that takes paladins and turns them into, like, empty soup cans, man. What in the world? Stun. Kragar trying to be very, very careful with himself. There's a lot of damage out of this Paladino that goes to Lay on Hands. Kragar just has to burn through his second health bar. No biggie. No biggie about it. Extra, though, I feel like if he goes in for Wake of Ashes and he goes in for pure self-heal with Eternal Flame, he's probably going to be okay. Good one, took it back for the next season coming out. Yeah, man. Hodge, reflect that Hodge with the Paladino. Yo, this doesn't happen that often. You would think it would happen regularly? No, it does not. Unfortunately, Paladin's the Hodge. Sometimes it's very elusive. It is very difficult to predict it. Warriors have to be excellent at it, and that was a great prediction by Kragar. Oh, Extrail, he has nothing left. If he gets an overleap, one more execute. Oh, gotta love the execute animation, man. It's almost like a lightning bolt striking the target. Handy is going to be up next. We do have... Did somebody leave our own team to him? Or did they just go taken down by the rogue that fast? Because I know we had double Pala. I think we did lose somebody, but we have Handy and Stellar left. Was it Lemon that DC'd or something? Might have been Lemon. If it's a DC, he might be able to log back in and get back in. Did move? Oh, you're good, you're good, you're good. I thought it was a DC. But otherwise, you are good. Yeah. I really wish they kind of took away the whole, like, you don't move for like a 30 seconds and you get kicked out from war games. Like, real arenas, probably okay to keep it there. War games, I feel like that shouldn't be a thing. You know what I mean? That feels a little silly. You step away, go get yourself water, and the game thinks you're just gone. The game thinks you've been gone since like 1985, and it has to boot you out in order to create some server space. Like what? Handy does get speared. Kragar getting kind of low actually. Gouge for a second, the Zerk is for it. Otherwise, he's holding on to it actually. Kragar's extremely low health. Does go for an execute. A big lead by Kragar. Oh, on the grapple. On the grapple. With Stellar going to be up next. Feral Druid, full bleed, sinking in all to Kragar. Kragar does go for defensive, but the dot damage may just be enough to push Kragar over the edge here potentially. He's going to go for Stormbolt, catching up to the Feral Druid, trying to pick up a bit of damage. Barstein is in play. But for Kragar, at least it is some sort of healing. Stellar with a big bite. Another big bite in Kragar. You have to follow for the warrior. Got him some shields, but unfortunately, he's just still taking so much dot damage. He will not be able to get a second one healing here. Does get him some reflect, but unfortunately, still taking constant damage. Eyes are available, so might want to pick him up actually. Oh, wait, his Feral is still not in stealth. That's huge. Maim. Trinket is available for Kragar, but chooses not to go for it. Does get himself Avatar. Full potential burst here is in play. Does get hit with a root, but it doesn't sit long at all. The Stellar with a wall, trying to see if he can fight through the warrior. Kragar, I think he's gonna have to see if he can just pressure and try to see if he can win through the cheat death. Stellar super low. Hold on a second, Kragar. I think cheated death and did end up slamming it. Oh my god, the cheat death tech worked. I feel like that's where maybe the Feral was like, you know what? I got him low. I got a wall. He's dead, right? And they bit into him, and he's walking away like he's dead, all right? And then sees Kragar just walking. He's like, wait, I'm pretty sure I killed him. Let me go for another bite. Okay, he's up to 0. But it's still walking. Uh-oh. Execute. You gotta love it. You gotta love the cheat death. Alrighty, boys. Kragar and Johnny. Let me know when you both are ready. Kragar is ready. How's Johnny doing? Is Johnny ready? Do you have any water? Oh, wait, I'm logging out. Exactly, dude. The jump WTF? Yeah, he left. He waited for a second until he saw you turn. When he saw you turn, trying to aim that grapple, that's where he left. Grapple and leap are very, very similar in terms of like the movement is the same, but grapple still needs to get the chain to first go out and then connect to the ground, and then it pulls you in. Like you charge harpoon to it location. With a leap, you just immediately go in the air. I think grapple is faster to get you like once the chain connects, but the travel time of the chain, if someone sees you during that, it will stop you, which is unfortunate. You still have a way faster grapple, almost immediate, but not quite immediate. This is why I always go with a cursor macro, so you don't even have to like green reticle. You just point your cursor in the direction, hit it, and your character immediately starts using it. What am I gonna send you guys into now? Oh wait, Lord, I run. There we go. Leap uninstalled me that damage. Yeah, the leaps can definitely be brutal. Wasn't at some point Heroic Leap like really big damage too? Wasn't it in Cataclysm that they added the ability and they made it so it hit kind of hard? Am I wrong on that? Did I save it? I did! Ooh, I'm so good at my job. Wow. Wow. Okay. Think so. I remember that kind of faintly, but then at some point I think they made it like easily accessible leap ability. It's just a movement skill. And they gave it some, it always has a bit of damage, but it's mostly just a movement skill. And kind of they added a lot of stuff that was kind of OP. I remember Warriors not really being OP, but I'm pretty sure Heroic Leap was like a pretty strong ability just when you use it. Which like Warriors sometimes would try to walk away just to leap to get like a little bit extra damage. Lemonade is going to be a first up versus the Smurfs. Immediate stuns by the Rogue. Try to see if he can slow him down. The Hunt is going to connect. Or does it? Or does it? Did the Rogue literally just walk away from the Hunt? Or no, I think he has dotted. I think it does connect. It just did something weird there. For Lemonade though, it is going to be no more trinkets. Oh, that is brutal. Especially with full Shadow Blades. That health bar. Bro, wait. He got Fade. Oh no, he got Blur. He does have Blur, and he does have a little bit of self-heals. Meta, immediate blind. Tell me he has the melee hits. Tell me he has mobility. Holy. Yeah, the rogues are like, the play Demon Hunter is like a fiddle. Actually nothing you could do. Literally nothing you could do. That is so rough. Like, there's some class counters that are just like absurd, but like what a rogue can do to a Demon Hunter is just beyond that. You know what I mean? Like that was wild. That was crazy. Straight up bullied him. Like, Demon Hunters just take so much damage when they're stunned, and rogues in particular just, I mean, it's rough. Radimus is looking for a bit of a rematch with this Mushka. Full stun, full damage. I think he just needs to maximize the Dawnlight damage as much as possible. And I think he's going to be able to melt him. Try to see if he can get around the angle. The dots are in play. The rogue does not go for the steps. You can always try to go for steps to go for a juke. Shield advantage up immediately. And this Mushka still actually staying in. I'm surprised. I thought he was trying to see if he can get the hell out of there. But no, he's just going to go for a vanish. Just to give himself a bit of that shielding. He is looking for a reset, but he's not going to get one. Not going to get one, so I think he's just going to wait out until Shadow Blades and stun DRs are off, and then maybe... That's a really bold bob by Radimus. Oh, does get the rogue. Hold on, if you stun him and you get the proper opener, hold on a second. Maybe the rogue just dies. As long as you use Dawnlights offensively, and then the rogue has to play defensively. Get a shot. Oh, Blessing is saying that is huge. So Pershka does go for a Cloak of Shadows too. Just Shadow Blades and just burn damage. I feel like if you just Shadow Blades and just burn damage, either way, just pump it. You might be able to make something as a rogue, honestly. I feel like the amount of pressure you could put out, even without CC, even without stuns, might be more than enough. But Smushka is going to try to play it standard. Unfortunately, does put himself out in the open with his Shadow Melt. Does not get himself the reset that he's looking for. Cheap shot is true to help him maybe make some damage happen. Immediate bubble off for Radimus. He doesn't even want to lose even but Ayara health. He's just going to bubble and bop super early. He's also trying to see if he can slam the rogue, making sure that he gets himself a guaranteed victory. Blind out for Smushka with that trinket back up. Smoke Bomb trying to create himself space. And this is where the Pally still can connect. Pally just needs a couple of those Templars and you should be able to take it. Okay, this shot does prevent them. Shield of Vengeance is going to make it impossible for the rogue to really connect and stay in. Yeah, the Dawnlight, it's over. It has been over. Stab it to Kragar. That's super cheesy. Don't like when rogues do that, but there's nothing you can do. Wait, are you going to live? Wait, you two got the same Mog. You got the bandana and everything. Holy, even the cloak and everything. Wait, are your cloak the same? It is the same. You guys literally have the same mog. Are you guys twins? The Smurfs and Satos. I just realized they have exactly the same mog. Holy, the rogue lived? Okay, I honestly thought with how little health he had and a tool dawnlight on him, I thought it was over. I thought it was done. The Smurf does go for a kidney shot onto Radimus, which is going to burn a trinket for it. The Smurf Shadow Blade's available in 10 seconds, but now there's no more trinket for Radimus. No more bubble. Maybe laying hands. But if he locks him down to stun, there's nothing he can do. The Smurf just gotta live. I feel like the Smurf can win. Vanish. Just gotta live. Just gotta live. Cheap shot. You have Shadow Blades. Do you just burn through him? No. 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 I guess if you faint, maybe you would live that shield of evidence enough. Just enough. But man, I was gonna say, is this gonna be another one of those where Rogue just gets away with murder? The Sato's gonna be up next from one Rogue into the next. Unfortunately, Radimus is just gonna have to take the damage here. No more immunities. Maybe lay on hands? Maybe lay on hands? You know he gotta get aggressive. You know he's gotta get aggressive. Try to see if he can bait the Rogue to go for a step. But it's not gonna happen. Satos is just gonna play this by the book. He's just gonna go for lockdowns until he takes you out. Radimus needs eyes. He needs side of the Rogue. He needs something, anything. Kidney shot? I think it's over. I think it's over. Unless for some reason Radimus just lives it. No. Not happening. Is it Stellar next? Stellar? Or is it maybe Handy? Or is it maybe X-Trail? Why did I say your name? It's Handy. I said your name weird for some reason. It is going to be a bear form. Just going to let the Rogue get the opener. Now, the Rogue versus Feral are always interesting because sometimes Ferals just absolutely dominate Rogues, depending on how good bleeds are. And other times, Rogues actually have like a fighting chance against Feral Druids. But this is going to be an opener by Stellar. Trinket for Trinket. Stun onto Satos. Full bleeds are in play. Stellar is going to have to find a way to live this. It's going to be cheap shot right after. Evasion is available. He does have Shadow Blades very, very soon. Stellar no longer has a Trinket. Actually, if Satos could just pressure him, keep him in out of bear form and stun him out of bear form, that would be perfect. Hell, even if you stun him in bear form and Shadow Blades, you might be okay. Gouger, try to see if you can get the Feral to come out. Cheap shot out of cat form. It is over. The Feral is so dead. The Feral is so dead. Another cheap shot. Is it enough? More than enough. Satos does take it. That is a big thing for Rogues. If you can catch a Feral out of bear form, it might as well be lights. You might even be able to kill him in bear form, really, but it's just bear form has so much passive defensives. It is a good defensive stance for a Feral. It is still going to put you under a lot of pressure, but it's a lot better than getting attacked in Cat. In Cat, you don't have any defenses. Gouge for just a second. Sato's looking for a reset. He doesn't vanishes, actually. So, Australia, if he's not super aggressive here, Satos is going to be able to get a reset. Zap, Shield of Vengeance does pop. Is that enough to put the Rogue in combat? No, it's not. I thought for some reason it would. But I guess it doesn't attribute as like damage of X-Trail or like an attack by X-Trail. It's just, it's a damage in an environment. I thought honestly it would be attributed as his damage, but it still lets him reset. Finish shot, Blessing Protection instantly is going to be advantage. The Rogue is slowed. X-Trail has a good thought process of where the Rogue may go. He is going to go around that perfect side of the pillar or around the tombstone. Well, shadows for Satos. That's going to be a Blessing of Saint. Satos just trying to see if he can push the damage. Doesn't need a stun. He realized, you know what? I'm a Rogue. I can just push damage. Trinket. Blind. X-Trail actually he's got out of a lot of options unless he goes for a bubble. Blind to reverse this. The Satos just take it. Hodge is available for X-Trail. Satos knows if he goes in for a stun, X-Trail is going to go for a Wake of Ashes really early. Shield of Vengeance. Is the bubble going to be used? He's watching himself like a hawk. Bubble. But lay on hands instead. He does survive it. Lay on hands instead. You can save bubble for later. And huge damage getting dumped into Satos with no way for him to counter it. Unless he goes in burning advantage just to give him some survivability. Evasion is going to be helpful, but it's not going to be enough to level out here completely. X-Trail is still taking a lot of damage. Satos is trying to see if he can force the bubble out of him if at all possible. Shadow Blades unfortunately is gone. Satos does have a vanish. He could get a clean vanish without a Wake of Ashes on him. Potentially bubble. Satos has a vanish. Let's use it. Stun in a second. Vanish now. Vanish now. Vanish now. Vanish. Still dotted. Ooh, shield is helpful. You have a Gouger? Ali has a stun. That's the unfortunate part. Satos is a cheat death, but I don't know if he'll be able to get away. He's trying to see if he can walk out of there. Oh no, the Pally gets the angles. Sipica barely keeping him alive. Blessing a Saint. Kidney shot? No, Blessing a Saint. Stopped him. stopped a lot of his damage. Cheap shot vanished out of the rogue. Oh my god, the rogue is back in there. Rogue is trying to see if he can fight through it. Is it enough? Does he have it? Cheat death is available, but extra burns to it. Cheat death like it's nothing. Okay, cheat death didn't do anything. Alright, love it when it happens. As a rogue main, I love it when my cheat death doesn't cheat anything. Can't shoot a paladin, I guess. Who's up next? Is it Kragar or is it one of the other guys? Alanius? It is going to be pretty high dampening. Looks like Alanius is going to be up next. Took so long to die? He did, didn't he? It did take him a while to die. That is a feature of rogues. At least we'll call it a feature, right? Is it a good feature? Is it a bad feature? Maybe an unfortunate feature to some. But it is going to be Alanius trying to see if he can burn the paladin. He doesn't have any more immunities. As long as you stay close enough range, you should be able to deep breath him and use the disintegrate ability to deal a lot of damage as long as you have the angles. Alanius just needs those angles to get some of those disintegrates and you'll be golden. Interrupted for a second. He's got more movement. More disintegrates with a wall so you can't get interrupted, but stun is going to hit him, which is unfortunate. Alanius, what do you do in this situation? It is just a little bit more damage. Blind by the Paladinos. The Paladin try to see if he can recover. Try to see if he can level out. Use the Wake of Ashes and try to get as many dominants as he can to recover in health. Alanius needs just a little bit more. He does have another deep breath by the looks of it. Sleep for a second. Rally with a trinket. If you have any more bursts right now, that would be the attempt to do it. Sleepwalk for a second. Alanius try to see if he can recover some health. Another sleep. Goes the art. Oh, Extrail does recover and is going to go for first aid immediately. Rhetoric charges in, try to see if you can slam it down. Reflect up Extrail with a Storm Bolt. It is going to be a big Demolish. Unfortunately, Demolish gets soaked up by that Shield of Vengeance, so Extrail's health is actually kind of okay. Full stun onto Rhetoric. Is it enough? Actually, the Paladin gets some mean dots onto Rhetoric. Is it going to be enough? Rhetoric got a little bit of shielding. The dots are hurting. They don't feel great. But for Extrail, did he just win this? Spear, he can't go anywhere. He doesn't have a bubble. That's what you're saying. Carry around for Rhetoric in case he ever needs it. Extrail has nothing left. Wake of Ashes, maybe a heal? No. The Execute comes through and does slam down on him. A good feature of Rogue, but unfortunately for others, yeah, if you're a Rogue, that's a good feature. If you're anybody else, it's not a great feature. Not a peak feature. And it looks like Candy I was going to say, is he giving him a chance to get an auto duel? Let him recover second wind? Looks like he was starting to let him. But he's going to go for a cheap shot. Into an ambush right after. Kidney shot to follow. Got himself a drone rush. Maybe that'll be enough damage. Is he back to coin flip or is he still the other build? No, he is the Trickster build. This Summon the Warrior. And he got a lot of potential damage here. Good buffs. He got really good rolls. Hold on a second. You got 3. He's gonna go for Vanish. Very aggressive use of Vanish. Try to go for cheap shot, I think, but it's still very DR'd. Rhetoric just needs a little bit more health. Mandy just needs a little bit more damage. I feel like even if you just spam pistol shots when you disarm, you're fine. You're probably good just doing that, because that could also proc your Unseen Blades. Parry? Does he have enough damage? Rhetoric has no health whatsoever. Andy has an evasion in case he needs to. Storm Bolt for a second. Evasion does go through. Rhetoric can hit through the evasion. Both take each other out? Huh? That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen like a cross kill like that. Well done. Well done. That warrior wanted that kill and he was going to get it no matter the cost. Well done, well done, well done. What a cross kill that was. You don't see a lot of those, but this is pretty fun. Alright, let's see if we can get ourselves another one. Yes. 1 sec. Johnny, if you need one more, invite me. I'll get Stellar back in. Looks like Stellar is switching on to different characters, I think. Yeah, I can get Stellar back in. Here we go. Nope, party's full. Here we go. Oh, did he join the other team? Oh, Stellar joined the other team. Unfortunate. Okay, we need one more. We need one more. Also a sec. Cracker is also trying to do some switch ups. We need one more for the group. I was thinking I was gonna get Stellar, but apparently not. Oh, that works. Beautiful. Okay. Ready. I kept messing up. No way. Need a way to practice for these duels. Yeah, the only way to really practice is, I guess, to just PvP a lot, right? That's all you can do, is just to PvP a lot. Outlaw is a weird spec. If you play like the other rogue specs, which are all about hit and run, that is not how you're meant to play Outlaw. You are meant to run, but not always. You're basically meant to be constantly doing damage. You're meleeing whenever you're safe to melee. One of the things that you can do actually as Outlaw is try to bank up a couple of those pistol shot procs, and basically use Center Strike when you get a melee for a couple of finishers, and then you could back away to like a pistol shot between the eyes, and if that gets a reset, you keep spamming between the eyes. So this gives you a couple of pistol shots that you can do. Pistol shots so at a range to like get away from a melee, walk in for a dispatch, walk back, pistol shot from a distance. This way you're doing damage without taking damage. Because otherwise you're constantly in melee and you're getting whacked by the other guy. Right? You don't really want to get whacked by the other guy if you can. But the auto attacks hurt. Although Outlaw auto attacks also hurt as well. So there are some moments where you can actually get into auto, and you should try when you can, but now one of those team-ups makes Storm a hit scan hero with explosive attacks instead of a projectile. Shut up, beaming, bro. Oh my god, that sounds like fun. Actually sounds like fun. Hit scan, huh? Hit scan, huh? That's wild. Okay. Interesting. Now I want to play it. Now I want to try it. Now I need to find the time to actually play, dude. I got some work I gotta do after this, but yeah. Okay, that is saved. Beautiful. With which got ourselves a Denta Bills. I was almost wanted to say Dental Bills, but no, Denta Bills. That is a name. I haven't seen this mountain. For like a hot second. What the heck? Got ourselves a cracker on the team. Alenius. Rest in Hell. Looks like he's gonna be first up. And Shift. Wait, what's the name? Shifro Punk? Shifro Punk. I guess I could call him Punk. I guess I could call him Punk. Some punk walking into a dueling arena. I guess. I don't really know. Extra immediate dots onto Rest in Hell, who is playing adaptation. That is interesting. Would be a good counter against the Paladinos, especially with those stuns. Would be decent. Not amazing against a Rogue. Decent versus Stellar, I think. And maybe good against Lemonade. Oh, actually depends. Does Imprison break it? Does Imprison get adaptation? Because I know stun should. Unless I'm wrong on that. Extra next stun is going to be something that Rest in Hell. I'm sorry, what? Adaptation procced? Wait, what is your cooldown for adaptation? Do you have 2 adaptations or something? What is happening? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What was that? His adaptation procced and it still had 30 seconds on it. Hello? Hello? Extra, try to see if you can get himself any kind of CC to work with, but Rest in Hell is just constantly on him the entire time. There goes in full immunity. Man's literally like, you know what? I'm just going to immune it. Next Hodge, make you Extra something to work with. Now his adaptation is going to proc this time. Okay, this time adaptation didn't proc. Got it. The Rest in Hell has to take that damage full frontal. Is going to be a stun. Extra with an immediate wall. This is where Rest in Hell needs to be very, very careful as to how he obtains his healing from Extra. While shield is active, is going to have to take it to the face. Unfortunately, meta is going to help him with a lot of recovery. Try to see if he can spell steal or remove any kind of soul fragments off of the Paladino with a big charge. Does he have the combo? Does he have the damage? After a hunt, usually you get a big combo, and that is enough to trigger a lay on hands. Extra knows there's going to be next Hodge, and it's going to get adapted, I think, right? For those lances! If Extra was out there for a global longer, I think that might have been lights. Potentially Bubble interrupted her Holy. Oh my god, didn't even get him a chance to bubble. That kick on Holy was crazy. Stun, adaptation unfortunately does not proc from the rank, but the maim I think will proc it. Rest in Hell unfortunately is going to take a lot of bleed damage. He has to sit here, unless he goes in for a meta and goes in for a big leap to try to catch the Feral. He does throw a glaive at him. He's going to get some kind of a setup on him. In prison, taking a decent bit of damage. IBM in order to get himself metamorphosis into a full stun. Does he have enough healing? There goes a trinket. Adaptation does proc off of that stun. I think it was a bash maybe or a maim. I'm not even sure. But it does proc. It is going to be a huge movement out for Rest in Hell as the Feral trying to tuck tail and get out of there. Tuck tail and run. I don't blame him, honestly. We goes flying in, try to kill and catch up. Goes for a kick. He's got those angles where he does a fell rush around the corner. Lands right on top of the target. Cyclone unfortunately does not have a way to proc the adaptation since it's cooldown anyway. Stun onto Rest in Hell. Yeah, he's the blade dance. Hello, Shade. What's up, Shade? How you doing, my man? You having a good one, my guy? How you doing, bud? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good one. Rest in Hell does have big haunt. Oh, it does connect. It does connect. The charge does go through. Tackled him. That's going to be a fear onto Stellar. Nothing he can do about it. As Rest in Hell cleaving soul fragments off of him. Big eye beam to follow. Going to be a clone. Adaptation not going to proc. Rest in Hell with a stun. Great timing. Great timing. The roar breaking. It's perfect. Rest in Hell does go for a backflip in case there's a stun from Stellar. He's trying to avoid it. Stellar trying to make some damage happen, but lances. One lance connected. I'm not sure about a second one, but the one did connect. Definitely didn't feel great for Stellar. You know he didn't enjoy that one. You know he did not like that one. There's going to be another blade dance out for Rest in Hell as he backs up out of there. Man. I mean, he's not in an amazing spot. Backflips out of there for a second. Does get himself a bit of a blade dance. Is it enough though? Is it enough? Is it possible to make it work? Maybe? This is going to be Stellar. Kind of lowish on health. Stun around the corner. No trinket, no bar skin for a while. No wall either. So he's actually kind of under a bit of a precarious situation. That's going to be adaptation. Oh, adaptation with a blade dance. Oh my god. That's where Rest in Hell was just like, alright. Yeah, go ahead, cyclone me. I'm just going to get a free trinket out of it. And that's going to be... Are you sacrificing his body? Hold on a second. Are you literally sacrificing him? You literally tried to sacrifice him. His body is gone, unfortunately. Rest in Hell is going to be up next. 40 seconds on that adaptation, so Rest in Hell will not be able to do... Actually, Rest in Hell is going to get hit by 2 stuns now. He's going to get 2 stuns, unfortunately. Unless he can delay Radimus for the next one. He might be able to sync it back up, but right now adaptation will not be up for the next stun. Especially if Radimus uses it immediately on cooldown. So this could be a little bit tough for Rest in Hell, but he's recovering health. 20% dampening, not really holding down the Demon Hunter with a big blade dance right after. Shield of Vengeance, he's standing next to it. He's fine without thing proccing. There goes the full immunity. Next, Hodge could be deadly. Rest in Hell 8 seconds until 6 seconds until... yeah, we'll have to eat a full stun again, which is unfortunate. Not deterred at all, not perturbed in any way. He's just staying on him. He got full meta. He's got full damage. He's just staying in. He's going to be laying hands. He's trying to see if he could get Radimus to use every one of his big buttons. If he can get a bubble out of him too, that'd be incredible. No, he did get a bubble out of him. Radimus using Bob or Spell Warden. Lay on hands and a bubble. Rest in Hell just trying to stay midair. He decided he's a bird. I am now a bird. Lances are not feeling good. Radimus might have miscalculated. He thought I could stay in. I could fight it. Adaptation with a blade dance. He thought he could fight it. Oh, Lemon, make sure you're moving from time to time, bud. Make sure you're moving even a little bit. Please, move. Just a little shuffle. Give me a wiggle to show me that you're alive. Andy, yeah, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. It's going to be an evasion out for the rogue, but Rest in Hell, he can bypass it with a stun and a lot of the chaos damage, which technically is a spell rather than like a melee hit. Not all, but a huge portion of them. It's going to be between the eyes procs. Handy does get himself a proc as well. Coup de grace, but it's going to be a full blur out for Rest in Hell, so he's reducing the damage greatly. Plus also the passive healing he's doing is fantastic. Hunt does connect. And Handy, Cloaker Shot is, I think, we're off as the Hunt is about to connect. Getting the shot. Wait a second. Rest in Hell with the blind. He's getting kind of low. Handy, hold on. Handy could possibly squeak out a victory here, actually. It's very possible. It's very possible. Rest in Hell needs a lot of health. He's going to hit him with the glaive. You just got to find a way to bypass next adaptation. You just cannot kidney shot him. Oh, never mind. Rest in Hell got himself the big proc, backflip out of there, proc to follow. Lemonade with the biggest, longest charge in the world. Try to see if he can go for a Hunt to follow, but an Imprison stun right after. Does burn a trinket here. Using to burn a trinket. Got himself the Hunt. Is going to help him catch up a little bit of health. Beautiful spell effect on top of it. Rest in Hell does go for a blade dance, but he's going to get hit with Imprison with the Sigil of Misery right after. Lemonade taking a decent bit of damage though. He's still got meta he can work with. He still has meta he can use. Avoid me for a second. Meta is in play. Does go for the stun. Needs to go for the big melee combo. Rest in Hell is going to take a lot of damage here. Massive hits. Rest in Hell, do you have enough here? Darkness is keeping him alive, though barely surviving that last swing. Next set of reaps and consumes could be enough. Darkness down for Lemonade. Rest in Hell looking for recovery. Blur is available for Lemonade, but the looks of it, he needs to be very, very careful with it. Rest in hell with a full metamorphosis. Lemonade, I don't know if you can outrun it. If you can somehow outrun it, maybe you could do something, but I think it might just be lights. Oh. Demon Hunter with adaptation, man. 10 million damage. Not quite clean, but 66969. I mean, the healing numbers are pretty good. The healing numbers at least were pretty good. Well done. Bro, Havoc Demon Hunter. I know everybody in the mother is playing Devourer, but like more people need to give Havoc a try. This thing is kind of nuts. He just lived for so long. And Blizzard was about to nerf that healing, and then we're like, nah, we don't want to do that. That's funny. It's actually hilarious. Alright, let me know when you guys are ready. We can go for another one. Lemonade, do we need a +1? We do need a +1. Is it Stellar the bounce again? Always thought pals over here. What's a Demon Hunter? Damn. Pass me lead, my boy. There we go. We need uno más. Molten core. Cracker is ready. We need one. 1 sec. Dark lane? Okay, we got lane in here. I'm fine picking up a lane. We got a lane. Let's do the grand. We did Blades 8 before, and it was weird. I'll try doing all those. One team deleting another. Yeah. Many times there's a kitten shot and it misses. No idea what others are using. So it's a Demon Hunter ability called Vengeful Retreat. They have a PvP talent that allows it whenever you use Vengeful Retreat, while they're mid-air, to be immune to CC. So they're literally immune to crowd control with their mid-air. If they backflip, right, and they're using glide in order to stay in the air and using fell rush to keep themselves afloat in the air, they're immune for that duration. It's, I think, called Glimpse is the PvP talent. Glimpse. I think they get a buff when they're vengeful retreating. So as a rogue, you gotta be very careful to not stun them when they're mid-air like that. Gotta be very careful. In fact, I think it's better to try to gouge them just to make sure you're not missing. Because if you gouge and they're back mid-air, you're like, okay, they're still immune. But then when they land, now you can kidney them. But you could try gouge to just stop them. And if they gouge, that means like, okay, I can stun them. So gouging Demon Hunter is huge. Which. What do we got first up? Dentabill is never going to play, actually, did he? Never going to play. Lemonade going to be first up as a Devourer. Is that going to be an Evoker? Like, how's this going to go? I feel like Demon Hunter and Evoker are very, very close to each other in terms of just the playstyle. 25-yard range, moment while casting, you know what I mean? But I feel like Evoker just has not really been shown a lot of attention. Devourer, Devastation especially, by Blizz. So I'm wondering how that's gonna go. Mastery is in play. No, not Mastery. It's actually just a random proc. There goes the Mastery. Lemonade is gonna try to see if he can avoid it. Evoker needs to use his mobility to try to see if he catch up. Those disintegrates are gonna be huge, especially if he can get him around the corner. That is gonna be massive damage. Does have deep breath to try to see if he catch up to Lemonade. Lemonade does get hit with a stun while Meta is in play. Stun to follow. Trick it out with the Evoker. Does have a wall to try to survive this damage. Try to see if he can just fire tooth a nail here. Lemonade is getting super, super low on health. If Alenia's got any kind of more damage, you could actually maybe win this full-on all-out brawl with the Evoker. Fire Breath right after. Disintegrates are still available. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the movement. Sigil of Misery, try to see if he can land it. Does land it. And I think he actually used the ability to try to reverse. Yeah, he's a reverse and Lemonade back behind the pillar. Oh my god, I haven't seen that ability in a while. He literally used all the time just on the enemy target. And he's trying to go for a bit of self-healing off of that sleep. Let's see if a follow-up here. Oh my god, wait a second. Does he kill it? I think it's the first time I've seen Evoker win a duel against a Demon Hunter. Or it's been a while since I've seen Evoker win a duel in general. Handy as an outlaw rogue is going to be up next. Probably the better rogue spec for an Evoker to fight. Not great because it's a rogue, but it's probably the better spec. Probably the better one. Deep Breath is going to get hit with a stun. If you can just stay away from the rogue and keep disintegrating him, he might be okay. Blind. The rogue does get hit with yet another Deep Breath. So for Lenius, at least has some movement. Killer speed. He's staying away from it. Does go for Disintegrate. He's trying to see if he can keep a range on the rogue. Try to keep him slowed. Root, I have no idea how that dodged. That should not have been dodgeable. That was insane. Is it just the vanish? Lenius needs heals right now. Needs heals right now. He's got movement while casting. Cloaked by the rogue. Oh, no. Olenius does have a wall here really, really soon, but he needs heals. He needs big heals. Cheap shot, it is very hard. At least he has a wall. He can use a wall. Handy does have advantage in case he ever needs to get himself out of dodge. Roar technically is available for Alenius. It does go for a flame off of that sleep, but no, he has no mana. Literally left with no mana. Has to go for fire breath. He's got no movement. He's got no, actually he's got a little bit of movement. He's got that disintegrate. And Handy tried to see if he could back up out of it. Does he have grapple? Deep breath. Oh, he's just gonna try to see if he can beam him with a deep breath right after. Hold on a second. Does he take it? Hold on. Does Alenius take it? Handy is at no help whatsoever. Oh my. The first time we're seeing a Evoker go 2 kills, it's been a hot second. I did say this was a better matchup for him. I didn't think he was gonna win against the Evoker. I honestly thought the Evoker was gonna walk him. Take him out on a leash or something. Take his Salamander out for a walk. But no, apparently not. Sleep onto the Demon Hunter. As Alenius is still taking a decent bit of damage, he doesn't have a wall for like 30 seconds. What can he do? He's going to go for a big fire breath and try to go for disintegrate behind the wall just to slow the Demon Hunter and do whatever damage he can. Literally poke damage. That's all he can do right now is just poke at him. Disintegrate, earth, whatever. The root does not connect. The Demon Hunter was mid-air for it. Alenius does have... Technically, he does have a deep breath here real soon. Does get interrupted. Do you just deep breath him? I think you have to, right? He does deep breath. Deep breath again to make sure he gets a stun into another disintegrate. He has a wall. I don't know if that would be enough to make something happen. Does go for the wall here. Wait a second. Dark Lane is starting to take a decent bit of damage for at least a minute, but that meta is going to help him stabilize. Try to see if he can put Dark Lane behind the corner again. He's going to reposition him, putting him away. Try to knock him out. Try to throw him out. Alenius, I don't know what you can do. You got out of mana completely. First aid as his last ditch effort. Does get interrupted, but it's a full juke. Eternity Surge, but I mean, the Evoker, what are you doing that angle, right? Sleepwalk is all he could try for. He has no health, no heals. 1 dot, and it's over. He's got movement. Yeah, those blades are going to do it. Yeah. He tried his very best, man. Unfortunately, Blizzard, I think they got to figure something out for Devastation Evokers, right? I don't want them to just be like unkillable, unhealable. But like, make him at least somewhat doable for 1v1. Like, give him some self-healing. It feels like every other hybrid healer can lead, or hybrid DPS can like heal himself to some degree. Like priest, druids, shamans. Actually, yeah, shamans. Maybe not monk. Monk is like the only one that has a really, really bad self-healing. Paladins, and then there's Evoker, who actually may have as bad a healing, if not maybe worse healing than a Woodwalker monk, which is a little bit tough. Kragr just absolutely getting shredded by the Demon Hunter with every single one of those blade dances. Slices through his very core, through his soul. He's going to go for a shield, letting him catch up a little bit of a breather room to get that second wind rolling in so he can at least get himself a bit of that health recovery. Darklane try to be very careful not to stay close with Kragr, trying to really go for those hit and run tech. But Kragr forces him in place with a Stormbolt, has a spear in 30 seconds, disarm the Demon Hunter during meta, and then lets Demon Hunter backflips. Not going to get access to his weapons. He's actually denied Demon Hunter his own self-healing and damage. The Kragr is still taking hits after hits either way. It is rough. With a full hunt to follow, Kragr will need defenses. Commanding Shout isn't enough. Does go for the Rage Gem. Trying to see if he can stay on top of the DH. DH knows he just needs to stay away from Kragr and not let his healing do anything. At least one Bloodthirst does go through him at the bare minimum. So Kragr does get at least one decent heal out of it. Demon Hunter just trying to see if he can get himself full range in prison as Kragr charges in. Unfortunately, the warrior is stuck in place for a moment. It's tough, man. What is Kragr doing in this situation? Let's go for a stun. And at least get himself some shields. Avatar and everything is available very soon. He could go for a spear. Spear, Dark Lane is stuck in place. If you got any damage, Kragr, now is the time to just max it. But your health is always in jeopardy, always in danger. I don't know what you can do in this situation. Does he have a leap? I don't think he does. He does have a Stormbolt. He also has a fear. Could go for a fear on the Demon Hunter. Yep. Fear, and he's going to pick up a little bit of health. As long as Kragr doesn't take too much damage from DH for a little bit, maybe second wind kick in, but I think he realized he has some kind of a doubt on him, so he's got to get back in there. He just got to get back in there. The hunt connects, charges out, slams at Kragr. Kragr leaping away. Ooh, he may just need to stay in. He may, yep, I think it's a cheap death proc. That's a cheap death proc. And all the Dark Lane needs to do is just live. I don't think Kragr has enough damage here. So unfortunately, the warrior is going to fall. Dark Lane did take a decent hit, though. Did take a decent hit. Late, kinda. What's up, Rick? How you doing, my guy? You're good, you're good. Punk is going to be up next. His name is Shifro Punk. I don't know what Schiffer means, but Punk is his name. Blasting out the Demon Hunter Dark Lane within a prison. Needs health. Is going to go for a meta. Needs to leech as much health as he can from Punk. Is going to go for the Torrent Racial. Lay on hands to get up full recovery. Dark Lane is actually starting to recover a decent bit of health. He has meta. I actually think you should stay in and maximize the value of meta. But he's going to go for first aid. That actually may be a safer play. Unfortunately, he is not able to go for a full first aid. So the stun is very, very hard though. Oh, I think it's because of the Torrent Racial, right? That would make sense, actually. That explains it. I was thinking that should have been full, but no. Hunt, wait a second. Schiffer Punk may actually go down. Is going to go for a full bubble. Punk charging out at him, trying to see if he can maximize it. Look at that Kodo go. He's trying to see if he can end this duel right then and there. But a stun out of DH. I think DH stabilized completely, and Punk has nothing to do at this point. There's nothing for him to do here. Dentabilis up next. I'm going to call you Dental Bills for some reason. Just, I don't know, your name, Dentabilis, is a little hard. Denta the Magenta is actually... What color is Magenta? I think it might be... Magenta? Oh, is this mug Magenta? Under certain light, I could actually see it kind of be like a dark magenta. Denta Wear Magenta. I guess that could be your name. I don't really know. Sanked out by the Paladina as Dark Lane tried to live. He's got meta. Got a big Sigil of Misery. That Shield of Endless is not going to feel great unless Dark Lane could catch up a lot of healing. Try to throw in the Glades, but it's not enough to pop that shield. Dark Lane does have the Hunt, but he needs to immune the next Hodge. If he can immune the next Hodge, he might be okay. Unfortunately, he charges into it. Ooh. Ooh. Trinket. I forgot he had a Trinket. Does Denta go around the corner here to get some cheesy damage? No, he doesn't. Demon Hunter needs that meta. Needs the Hunt. Unfortunately, Paladin does do enough damage. Does end up taking him out. It ain't easy. With Extrail going to be up next. Finally got into your stream after so much. What's up, Leo? How you doing, my guy? You having a good one? I have no idea how evokers work. Yeah, they kind of just fly and they hit you and they cast while moving. The fact is you don't see unless you're like do a lot of BG Blitz where evokers are kind of played. Like Devastation could definitely be good there. Actually, solo, it was pretty good in solo. Unless you see and run into a lot of evokers, it's hard to tell exactly what they do. But they usually have a ton of movement, not a lot of self healing, but a ton of movement. Decent enough defensives, but reliance on healer is very much a must for them. Unfortunately. Would be kind of nice if they could get some kind of like a talent where they could sacrifice some damage, but then, you know, get a lot more self-survivability at a cost of it. That'd be kind of interesting. Dentabil's actually forcing a lay on hands out of Extrail, and that's a great, beautiful blessing of saying to stop the stun. Extrail forced to use a human ratio to get out of a stun. So it actually looks like Denta is able to, put even more pressure onto Extrail. Hold on, Extrail may have to bubble this or something. Spell Warden may have to come out. Does go for Spell Warden. Dude, Dentabil is just forcing everything out of Extrail. What is happening? He just masterfully stopping a lot of his go and even walks up in melee and tries to see if he can land an auto attack through the magic immunity just to make sure he doesn't get the full recovery on health. Well done. May just have to get a bubble out of him. Dentabil so far. Hodge, that's the next blessing of Saint. Unfortunately, Dentabil will not have his own. Does he? I was thinking maybe going for a trinket, but no, he does not. He's just going to wait it. Got plenty of movement though. He got that Hand of Freedom. Just to keep him running. Whoa. Oh my goodness. X-Trail had a bubble available, but unfortunately didn't spend a global on it. Unfortunately did not land a global on it. Stun is going to be very hard, so Dentabilis is doing just fine. Doing A-okay. Radimus though, he got a lot of potential pressure. Denta does go for a stun, trick it out for Radimus. Denta needs as much self-healing as possible. Has not used, I don't think, any of the Forbearance buttons. I don't think even Lay on Hands was used, so he's actually okay. He's saving them until the very last moment, using all that resources he built up for that Dawn Light just to stabilize, and their health just stop moving. Until Radimus can get another lockdown with a set of wings, it's just not going to move. Denta could go for the human racial, choosing not to. Just letting their own Dawn Light maintain themselves. That is crazy. Just literally believes in the light itself. Anduin could use could take a page out of their book. Let's get synced out for Radimus. Perfectly countering the stun. Denta is super low in health. There goes the lay in hands for Radimus. Denta, I think, still has a bunch of tools under his belt. He's just choosing not to use them, which I'm very surprised by. Very surprised by. Gonna go for a blind stun. He's gonna go for a trinket. There it goes. Now he's got himself proper CC breaker. And he's got himself shield of Venus too. Again, not willing to use the cooldowns. That's going to be Radimus at some point having to press a bubble. Radimus is going to have to get some kind of a stun lock onto Denta to force a bubble at him. Denta also bubbled actually. Never mind. Denta did bubble. Denta did spell word and bubble. I didn't even notice. I was looking at his cooldowns and I think I might have looked at one paladin maybe. Denta might just go down. Hold on. Haja. Did he survive? No. Denta does go down and Talrion is the last one left over the team 1. Spear down. Radimus immediately get hit with a reflect. And Talrion taking him out. First duel. Where is the Evoker? I know that the Evoker got kills. I want to see how much damage he did. First duel we've seen an Evoker actually do something. It's not easy. They literally made that class one of the worst for duels, unfortunately. It is very strong in group stuff, but in duels, that's the first time in a while we've seen an Evoker actually doing things. Well done. Well done, friend. You gotta recognize and congratulate them when they do well. A lemonade! What are we getting here now? Okay, we need one more. Relock? Okay, okay. Sounds good. We need one more, boys. Okay, let's see who else can I invite. Gano? Does he join these? Stigmata. King's Rest. Yeah, get used to King's Rest. Do you want to join, Rick? Demon Hunter Healing is insane. It is really good. It is really good. It's been like this for a while. I feel like just not a lot of players notice how good Havoc is in terms of just survivability. Everybody is playing Devourer, but nobody's playing Havoc. What I'm saying here in Duels goes melee. Goes with melee. Might be a level of Fury, but not Shadow Priest. No, don't do Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest is a weird one, Handy. I feel like you would have a really hard time with it. It is not easy. Might be even worse than Evoker in 1v1s. Okay. Okay, we still need one more. We need Johnny. Here we go. Saya? Okay, we'll get Saya too. Although Saya is playing one-handed essentially. He injured himself. If we do Toberon. Oh no, there's a hook point. I like hook. In case everyone that can't get to them. So maybe Aflock? Ooh, Af is not terrible. Yeah, Warlocks aren't bad. Aflock can work well. Let's put dots on him. You just melt them from afar. Warlocks are pretty good. Yeah. Warlocks are pretty good for that. Yeah, as a rogue, when it comes to Outlaw, it's all about learning how to use grapple correctly and sprint. Because like if you're constantly spending grapple just to like make those little micro adjustments, that's like you're just gonna be way. Delaying Blade Rush to use it as a movement skill is also good too. Like normally Blade Rush you want to use it because it hits hard, but you can also delay it just as a mini charge. Which lets you save grapple to like escape or close the gap if you really need to go big movement. Sprint also has a very short cooldown for Outlaw too, so using that correctly, especially when you don't have a slow, that would be very, very helpful. Alrighty, switch. What do we have here over for the team 1? Who's going to be first up? Is it Rick? I'm sending the boy. It looks like Rick is going to be first up. Trying to see if we can set up a gateway immediately. Insta slow, insta pets, insta gateway. Wait, do you even have a main pet? Wait, I don't think you even get to use a main pet. Yeah, Rick didn't even get a main pet. Rick is going to need to get a proper pet out at some point. Trying to see if he can land a fear. Is going to be a fear. I think, yeah, Felguard. Unfortunately, having to use Gateway super early, but he does get a Felguard up and running. And it's going to be Radimus backing up out of there while Wings are still active, which is unfortunate. He is going to be able to use them at least to get himself caught up in health, but yeah. Affliction is hard. Is Affliction difficult? I think casters are tough, but I imagine for Affliction, most of your abilities are insta-cast, except for like, you know, lining up where the Haunt is, you wave, but usually you get a Fear, and then you load up a couple of dots, and you can just stay away and let the dots do majority of the damage. I don't know, maybe it'll be difficult? Rick can honestly attest to it, because he played a little bit of Affliction for these duels in particular. We can tell you if it's easy or difficult. It's going to be Mortal Coil, Fear to follow. It is going to be some CC as Radimus try to see if we can get maybe some kind of a setup. Tyrant is in play. The full Chaos Mode is also barreling down from a distance. Infernal Bolt. Unfortunately, Infernal Bolt no longer does that one-shotty thing as before. So it's going to be a little bit tough. Radimus throwing in some sort of a curse, literally through some kind of like a miasma or an affliction at Radimus, is going to stay away from him, letting the pets do all that work. Just going to let the pets do all this damage. And try to see if he can stay away. He's going to go for a fear. So does Radimus, closes the gap. Radimus the entire time so far has had to chase after Rick. And when he does close the gap, he's just forced away. He's going to go for immunity, but a lot of those pets are still going to be able to do physical damage either way. Rick is having to take the damage to the face. Dark Pact is available for it. Trying to see if he can maybe land a fear or another CC chain instead. There's going to be a trinket. Harsh to follow. Rick with the trinket. Axe toss right after with a fear. And Radimus finds himself at low health. Maybe a lay on hands angle here. Possibly, if not bubble. We'll see though. Radimus needs to be very, very careful with that lay on hands though. He can be CC'd. And it's going to be a full Tyrant, adding additional damage poured out for Rick. He's got himself those glides in order to get him some big movement. It is so perfect for him. He's got ability to move around at the very least. Stun? No, Radimus got to wait a second. Hodge is available now. Fear before he can even get it going though, unfortunately. Radimus at the very least does have to do the defenses, and Rick is still having to get some of his bearings together, getting his Warlock Stones up and running. In a bit of a tight spot. I think maybe Rick was just like too eager to come out and rush. So that's why he didn't have his main pet available. Infernal Bolt is going to do some damage, but it's not going to be enough though. He's having to play around those pets as best as possible, letting the pets do majority of the damage. He is going to probably, I think what Rick really needs right now is to make sure the Overlord, Chaos Mother, and the Tyrant, or the Pit Lord rather, all of them need to connect with their hits because they do significant amount of damage. Overlord, generally consistent. Chaos Mother, sometimes good, sometimes not. And then Pit Lord, I mean, he's just standing there. He's just hanging out. He's like, hi. Bye. That's all he did. He literally is just like, he was just taking up space. He was just wasting air for a second. He was just wasting precious H2O. No. H2O is water. Never mind. I'm stupid. Wait, Radimus might just die. Never mind. Bubble is still available. Even without the Pit Lord, Rick is still able to make some kind of damage happen. Looks like one of the big demons that he summons from the Twisting Nether, from literal Argus, is actually putting in the work though. So anytime he's got a Tyrant, he's got to get a couple of those hand cooldowns to try to see if he can fish for more demons, because those demons are the ones that actually do decent work. They are the ones that actually do big damage. Rick is in a position where he's trying to see if he can get some kind of a setup. He just needs another decent go versus Radimus, if at all possible. Hand cooldown, Pit Lord. Oh, finally, there it goes. Look at that Pit Lord. When he actually gets to do damage, he's actually effective. Even the Ruination actually connected with Radimus took damage from it. He does not have a lot of health to work with though. It's going to be at least an attempt to try to see if he can finish him up. Rick does have to go for a trinket. That does end up taking him out. Handy is up next. Trying to see if he can get himself a good angle. Walking into the eyes, I think. Yeah, unfortunately, he does end up picking the eyes himself. Trinket is going to be out. Mortal Coil immediately. Was that Axe Toss or was that a Fear? Tyrant is in play. Maybe trying to see if he can back up out of there. Grapple letting make some room with a smoke bomb. Unfortunately, those pets on the right-hand side are still going to be able to catch up. Vanish does get used. So maybe that's what Handy may have to do, is anytime there's a Tyrant, he may just have to vanish it. May not be the worst move. Now that you close the gap, Dark Pact is going to be in play. Probably Gateway, yep, unless you have yourself a vanish. Also, another thing handy that you can do as Outlaw, always be spending and building calm points. Even if you're not able to hit Rick, always hit something, anything. Always be hitting a target at all times. That is going to be incredibly helpful. You'll notice your grapple hook and other abilities come back off cooldown a lot faster. Like, even if you're just hitting the Felguard back here, I know you want to hit Rick, but even if you can't, hit the pet. hit the pet. Even if you just try to waddle towards Rick, hit the pet. Helps out tremendously. Grab himself a grapple, looking for a setup, but immediate port out for the Warlock. The city has another gateway. Axe toss as the Rogue finally closes the gap. Fear immediately off of that ruination. And yeah, unless the Rogue can get himself some kind of another setup, his mobility is very limited here at the moment. Evasion is going to help against some of those pets. He does have one more vanish, so maybe he can make some work off of it. So pickup is available. And that's a full Tyrant though. He will have to vanish it, I think. It's a lot of pressure as soon as that Tyrant starts to connect. Yeah, look at that Tyrant. Yeah, slam, slam. Yeah, you have to vanish it. I know it's a minute cooldown for your 2 minutes, but that thing is way too hard hitting. It is very, very difficult. Lane up next, landing in a prison with a Hunter follow versus Rick. Trying to see if he go for backflip. Actually does backflip to immune the Fear by Rick. That is still full Chaos Mother. Fear is still going to go through it after all those pets are in play. Needs another Tyrant, but Rick is not going to be seeing one for a while. Fear, it is the Yard. The Portable, however, or maybe not the Yard. Maybe last one wasn't the Yard. Portable, however, is going to connect. Is going to do decent bit of aim. Decent bit of aim. Trying to see if he could. Oh, did he get ported? No, he immunes the port. I guess he was technically midair when it happened, so he just completely immuned it. I guess the port is a CC, or it counts as a CC. I thought it was just like a teleportation type of thing. Nope. It is going to be Axe Toss to follow. Lane still has access to Metamorphosis, so you could use the meta. In fact, if he uses the meta on those pets, he will stun them. That will be very, very helpful for him. Rick does get himself a huge bit of mobility. Try to see if he can grapple over or glide over back towards the other side. Getting those casts from around the pillar, but really just trying to avoid Dark Lane, letting the pets run amok, especially with a Tyrant in play. Lane does have meta. He does potentially have decent bit of damage you could do. Sigil and Misery on some of those pets is going to be Fear in order to reverse back on him. Fear again. Rick does have Lane super, super low. That is going to be Chaos Mother. Is that enough? Barely? Axe Toss? Oh, that's enough. That's got to be enough, right? Yeah, dude, the main Inferno Bolt go from like actual decent damage to like very, very weak. So now it's just not much you can do about it. Into a massive gateway. Leo does go for a slow one to Rick. He'll be able to get full damage, right? Yeah, big breath, full stun. Rick with the wall, trying to see if he can live it. Massive output. If you go for silence, it's going to be over. Rick barely survives it, but Leo shredding right through him. Try to see if he can port him, but is he just going to port back there? Silence him for a second. Rick. He has Axe Toss. Maybe you can use it. Axe Toss. Fear. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Leo does end up getting him. Well done, Leo. That's not an easy matchup at all. Dalaran is up next. Having to fight versus Leo and Saya. That's not going to be easy. Saya did get injured though, so hopefully the man is doing okay. But apparently one of his hands is injured. So he's going to be playing WoW at limited capacity. Make sure you wiggle from time to time, Saya. There we go. Yeah, just make sure you move. Because we did have a DC earlier. Or a kick. Somebody got kicked for not moving. Blakestorm out. Leo has to go for IBF. He's waiting until cooldowns are available. Does technically have those sides, but while this turn he's limited on what he can do. Back it out for just a second. Stun right after. Dalaran just needs an Executor to him. And he might just have it. Try to see if he can send in the damage. If at all possible. Does go for a Shockwave for just a moment. Does. Yeah, the damage though. Back-to-back hits. Executes are doing somewhat of a work. Leo up no hull whatsoever. Does he have a rend? Does have a bleed on him. Did have a bleed on him. Messiah charging out next in a big old blue elephant, which does match his Mog somewhat well. It is going to be Tell versus Saya. He needs to find a way to get himself a good reflect onto Saya. I think that would help. Saya. Oh, okay. I was thinking you'd trinket it, but no. Basically, I was saying just let him get out of Stormbolt incredibly quickly. And he immediately went for a Hodge to reverse it on him. Well done. Yeah, and Saya, I think he's just going to go let the Dawnlight do work. Patel, he's not in a good spot. 49% dampening, he can barely heal. Second win is the only thing that maybe can keep him kind of sort of afloat, but it's definitely rough. And Saya keeps going back into the consecration, so he slows, gets removed. And he creates the constant slow into Tell. Does go for a Stormbolt. Oh, Shield of Vengeance is not going to feel great. Tell, with a defensive play, does go for a commanding shout into a fear. It is going to be immediate trinket out for Saya. Unfortunately, Tell does go down as he was getting some procs. Only so much you can do. Wadenta Bill is up next. Trying to see if he can get himself some kind of a go. When Legion skill pops, I always heal half of all the for those undeads. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you go for a full meta when the undeads come out and you just start cleaving them. Yeah, it's so good, man. What they have is this class? Yeah, Warlocks. Yeah, they can stay away from you. Rank in particular is really good at staying away from people. He just lets the pets do majority of the damage, which is kind of how Warlocks are supposed to play, right? They're meant to play around like dots and things. Even Dastard Warlocks, which are, you know, standing there, chaos bolting you, hitting you with immolates, conflagrates, incinerates, even those guys can be very elusive. Riser in particular was incredibly elusive as a Dastard Warlock. He would only bolt you whenever he had a big setup, but otherwise he would stay away from it. He wouldn't just stand there and incinerate. Even in fact, most Warlocks don't even spam incinerate unless you just recast, because incinerate deals so little damage. It just doesn't feel like a pressure ability. It's all about them bolts. Maybe some burns, shadow burn procs, those are pretty good. Conflagrates are good. That ability is taking a decent bit of damage. The Saya have to burn the defensive here because he's also taking a decent bit of damage though without a wall. Gotta see have enough cooldowns here. As we head in that 12 or 11 minutes, close to 30% dampening, there goes a bubble. Dentabilis caught up on a bunch of health. Saya having to go for a bubble. Hodge trying to see if we can make some damage happen. You may have to go for self-killing, unless you just try to see if you can stay aggressive. Stun did not have a Blessing of Sync. Dentabilis, however, off of that Hodge does not have a counter, does not have an offensive play. There's going to be a bit of healing for Saya. Does get some Blessing of Sync, even though I don't think it would really do much. Dentabilis still dotted though, he's still rotting. Hold on a second, maybe Saya's offensive play is the right move. Saya does have a Blessing of Spell Warden for the bubble of Dentabilis though, so that could be something to work with. Maybe. Next Hodge, however, would be the play, and Saya needs to make sure that Hodge is good. Blind? Okay. Saya's gonna have to Trinket, I think. Trinket stun. Dentabilis with a bubble. Saya with a Blessing of Sync maybe? You got a Blessing Spell Warden. No, he just needs to go for self-heals. Interesting choice. Honestly, I thought a 65% dampening, you're not going to be able to get that much healing, but apparently you do. Blind and Saya. Can he make some work off of this? He does have a downlight on him. Bop. Oh, I think it's unfortunate. I don't think he meant to press Bop. I really don't think he meant to press Bop, because next Hodge is going to stop him. He does have a Hodge of his own, so he could make the play first. Let's go for the Hodge. Trinket. I think it's over. I think it's over. That was unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Rick picking up 3. Man, Rick can't be caught. Can't catch this guy. He's elusive, huh? Howdy, boys. How we doing? Are we doing more? Are we done? What are we feeling like? Are we doing more? Or are we done, Ski? What are we looking like? Oh, these teleports in the gate? Yeah, no, it is crazy good. It is crazy good. Progress is ready. Johnny, let me know if you're ready. Let me know if you are good to go. We'll go for last one. Sure. Let's go for one more. Hello, Dal. Hope you're doing great. What's up, Beck? Hope you're doing great. I'm doing good. How are you doing? What did Johnny say? Ready. Oh my goodness. Okay. Do I do Toberon? I feel like Toberon would be a bad move, but we'll do Toberon. Toberon seems to be actually a decent dueling map. Not great, not amazing, not perfect, but decent. Yeah, DK and Lock pop their stuff hard. Yeah, they do. Except for Warlock, it seems to be, especially for Demo, it doesn't seem to be a lot of like damage. It seems to be like ramping damage, but it's not like burst. It just ramp, ramp, ramp. All these slows, fears, and minions doing all the work, and we get to him. Yeah, it's tough. It can definitely be a little tough. In the 1v1 content specifically. They also are a little bit annoying in that regard in like arenas too. Especially if your healer like does not cleanse your fears at all. That could definitely be a little tough. It could definitely be a little tough. Let me tell you. Alrighty. Bro, I'm getting so hungry and I can smell food. My god. Which. Got ourselves. It looks like Saya is going to be sent out first versus Rick. Okay, this will be interesting. Immediately hits him with a slow. What is this guy? Who is this dude? Oh, bro. That ogre. I think I know the trinket you used to summon that guy. That's hilarious. Pretty sure it's a trinket from War Within. Like season 2. Pretty sure it's some ogre from like a delve trinket. I think that guy's hilarious. I remember he used to actually do a lot of damage for a short bit, but then Blizzard gutted him. He used to be actually a good trinket, like somewhat. But unfortunately, nah. I was gonna say, like, who is this ogre child? Who brought their ogre child with him? Is gonna be a port out. Saya is actually playing adaptation, so I don't really know what he can do much against Rick. Maybe like against a fear, like a normal fear, he'll be able to break out of it. I don't know about the AoE fear. I don't think it actually is full 5 seconds. So I don't think adaptation will proc on it. But who knows, honestly. Saya is starting to take a decent bit of damage, but Rick is still continuing to summon up as many pets as possible. Handle Dance is going to get interrupted on it. He's not worried about it. He's just going to be able to start recasting. There goes a full... Oh, the adaptation does proc on the AoE fear. Never mind, I stand corrected. Rick unfortunately does have to burn a Warlock Hellstone. Wait, did Rick do some cheesy stuff with Warlock Hellstone? I think he did. I think he used the normal Warlock Hellstone, and now he has the red Warlock Hellstone. He's got the green cookie and the red cookie. So many cookies in a cookie jar. Damn. Fear, it is at least going to be some CC out for him. Full Tyrant is in play. Should be able to get a lot of damage. He's trying to see if he can CC Saya. But Rick really, once he gets a Tyrant going, ideally, what he wants is more Handable Dance. So you can summon more demons. So his Apex talent actually can get some value. Because then he can summon even more demons from the Argus. Like this one. Yeah, there she goes. There she is. That one actually cranks hard, I'm pretty sure. A bunch of them do a lot of damage, but you got to make sure the demons are actually attacking even in fear. The pet control has got to be very important, but that thing can actually do a decent bit of damage. Yet another fear, and Rick tried to go for even more CC. Unfortunately, his pets did get kind of stumped with those fears, but he's still doing some decent damage. Got himself a big old Overlord jumping in there too. Big crash down, and Saya is still doing okay for now. Does get a stun, is able to at least close the gap with Rick. Question a trinket out of him with, was it a trinket? Whoa, it was an imp. I think it was an imp actually. I think it was an imp. I think he literally did get an imp to dispel him. Dang. Okay, wait, hold on. Can you dispel himself when he gets hit with a Hodge then? Is that a thing? Might be able to. Okay, next Hodge, I do want to see if he's able to dispel him. Because I'm pretty sure self-dispel should be a... What is it? It's 20 seconds AD or something? Because of the talent? If not 30 seconds? But it should line up with a Hodge pretty well. I actually want to see. No, he can't dispel himself. So the first time he summons the imp, that imp will dispel him. So that seems to be the way he can get out of the stun. But then every other time he can dispel, but remove somebody else. He can't remove Hodge of himself. Unless they made a longer cooldown, and then maybe I have it wrong. Maybe I don't even know how well the ability works. That whole Grimoire for imp. Mortal to follow. Was it Grimoire? It used to be Grimoire. They summon an extra pet. I think they changed it to like a talent or something nowadays. Rick does get himself at least a little bit of healing back behind the pillar. Saya is just constantly taking damage from those pets. But so far, the army of demons isn't that large. Stun. There goes the Rick actually dispelling himself. I think he did get the proc for the imp. What is the cooldown for it? 2 minutes? 1.5 minutes? I don't remember. And Rick does go for a port behind the pillar. I think he was trying to send Saya away, but Saya didn't take the bait, so he's the one who went for a port instead. And that's going to be an ASUS, giving Rick at least an opportunity to get some more pets. Definitely wants to get a Tyrant going, but if he's going to go for a Tyrant, I think he needs to make sure he gets a Tyrant and Handle Dons back to back to back. If he's going to go for it, Handle Dons also needs to come out so he can get more pets. But it looks like Rick is going to have to play it super slow here. Ideally, you want to summon a bunch of pets and then Tyrant so you can get the empowerment mechanic with Tyrant and those demons. But right now, his army is kind of weak on the weaker side. Does go for a dispel on himself. I don't think he had an imp there, but maybe he did. Maybe that's what that little guy is. I can't even tell, honestly. It's so hard to tell, dude. It's so hard to tell. Mortal does get the fear. Handle Dons got the double pets. Those pets are doing great damage. They're not amazing, but they will do good damage. Like, while they're up, they're doing fantastic. It is additional heavy damage that Saya has to deal with. And it's got 2 of them. I think it's a jailer pet. But Rick tried to see if he can maybe just stay away. Saya so far is able to live those pets. Those pets, those demons that he summons, is a decent bit of damage. But Saya is at least able to live him due to self-healing. So as a Paladino, he's literally walking at him. He's literally just walking at him. Just menacingly. Trying to see if he can port him, but he's not going to go that far, unfortunately. And Rick does go for the axe toss, but I don't think Rick has enough right now. I think actually Rick is under a ton of pressure. I think Rick is actually a bit in danger. He could at least dispel the Hodge from Saya. So I'm wondering if Saya maybe should just Hodge, like, I don't know, maybe Hodge the... That was a trinket. I was going to say maybe Hodge the Felguard, but that may be a stupid idea. At least the Felguard, like, cannot break out of a CC. But then Rick, I think, is just going to mortar coil you. Right, so maybe just force him to use the button is probably better than not. Shield Dividends up for Saya, so it looks like Rick is starting to recover a little bit of health. Whenever he's away from Saya, just spending like a minute away from him does at least get him another Warlock House, which is chumping down yet again. So Saya needs to find a way to stay on Rick like glue the entire time. Even if he's just like not melee with him, but like at least keep doing range damage to him the entire time. Does go for yet another Hodge spell. Saya does get himself at least a little bit of stuff to work with. Bubble is available in case he ever needs it. And if he can get himself some more resources too, that would also work really well. Rick trying to see if he can get himself more heals. 30 seconds until the next Hellstone. I do wonder, like, Saya was looking like he was actually getting some sort of advantage here. Unfortunately, that fear, because of Blessing of Saint, is not full, so it is not going to proc adaptation. So Saya is going to have to wait out their Mortar Coil. Nothing you can do about it. Axe toss to follow. I don't think Rick can go for a fear because that's going to be adapted then. But he is going to have to adapt or proc adaptation out of Saya one way or another. Actually, no, he won't be able to. Well, actually, might be. Hodge dispels himself immediately. Saya is doing kind of okay. Saya needs to get himself a good angle for mobility, and it looks like every other Hodge gets dispelled. And then there's a trinket in between of those two. But for Saya, this is not an ideal situation. Does have adaptation proccing on that fear, giving him at least a moment to do some damage. Rick with full shields, wall, dark pact, literally everything to go defensives. And Saya not only committing a wall here, that is a lot of demons joining in. Mortar Coil right after. So Rick did use a lot of defenses to survive the go by Saya, but he's just going to try to see if he can spam fears at him. Is going to be a Hodge, but dispel immediately. Just going to remove it. Saya still has a bubble, so he's kind of okay. Whenever he gets the next Wake of Ashes, that is going to be another opportunity to pressure Rick. So I feel like Saya, even though his health is lower, he's doing mostly okay. I got movement. Unfortunately, Rick has also a lot of movement. Every time he uses a glide, he just gives him that movement to keep going. Just keeps him like propelled forward. Fear into Saya, no adaptation for this one. And Rick, do you have enough damage here to make summon work? Axe toss. That's going to start the Overlord swinging, just sliding from around the pillar. This is a really long duel between these two. Hodge is going to go for a normal trinket. Saya still chasing after him. Unfortunately, no Hand of Freedom this time around. Does have a bubble. They have hands to use here. Is this winnable for a Paladin? Or is he actually just in the lead right now? It's so hard to tell. It feels like Rick is just always able to escape him. And when he wants to, he can stay ahead of him. But every time Saya actually has full burst, Rick does blow every defensive. Like every single one. Because he knows it's going to be too much pressure, too much damage. Way too much. Try to see if he can port Saya, but he's actually going to put him next to him. So the guy is going to go for a port anyway. Saya got him movement. Got Hodge, dispelled immediately. Does he have the pressure? He's got a Dawn Light. So maybe with just Dawn Lights alone, he might be able to make something happen. He's still got bubbles, so I think he just tried to see if he can maybe use that bubble in order to keep himself afloat. Blessing of Sync is going to be huge. Blessing of Spell Warden, so he's immune to any magic CC. But the Axe Toss should be able to connect. Those Messiah looks like he's got himself an angle. No adaptation for this one, unfortunately. There's going to be a Rick getting away from him for just a minute. But the Dawn Light is starting to do some damage. It is starting to burn him, even if a little bit. Another gate break. Does he have more movement again? Yeah, for Sai right now, all you can really do is try to see if you can be patient here. Patience is a Paladin's virtue. Adapt is back. Bubble is available. Into a Hodge does go for Dispel. He can't really do anything against the Hodge Dispels. He just has to throw him. Just has to keep throwing Hodges at him either way. Mortar Coil with the fear right after. Rick does get a Tyrant. Ideally, I think Rick wants to get more pads, but he cannot. Dawn Light looks like it's actually doing damage. It looks like Saya got the angle. Saya does win this at the end of the run. Saya, the man of patience, dude. Patience of a saint here. He just has to play around the game with Rick. Just has to play a ring around the rosy with him the entire time. Punk is going to be up next versus Saya, who just went through an absolute blender of a match, though. Not a fun match, I imagine. Just chasing after a Warlock who can just dispel and remove your Hodge every single global. Every single time it's up. Every 30 seconds, just Hodge and nothing. Might as well not press it. But I think you still press it either way. Force cooldowns out of the guy. But man, was that a tough one. 10 minutes into the match, 54% dampening. Leonard's really aggressively out of Punk. Still bubble available for Saya. may have to burn a bubble here. He does play adaptation, so next Hodges, at least he's going to be able to live it. And it looks like he's going to try to see if he can maybe stabilize here. He's waiting for a Hodge with Wake of Ashes. I think he wants to go Wake of Ashes and go aggressive here. Like wants to go really aggressive. Should go aggressive. Bubble. Oh. The side just bubble it. The side chooses to bubble it. Shield of Vengeance was used. It looks like he's going to go for self-heal since he can't do damage to Punk. He's got a full immunity really early. Still will have Spell Warden though. Messiah will need to counter the bubble for that Spell Warden. Trinket adaptation, which is perfect for him, so he can at least escape. I think he's taking some dot damage. Punk definitely has a health advantage, so he wants to go as much pressure, much dot damage onto Saya. Hodge does go through. Punk unfortunately does not have an answer. Saya looks like he's going to go full offense here. And Punk, Shield of Vengeance, is going to maybe keep him alive here. But Saya, I think he knows he can just pressure the guy. Flashing lights are barely doing anything at 60% dampening, unfortunately. And Punk does have to go for Spell Warden. Saya backing up out of the immediately. If he can deny any damage from Punk, he's going to be okay. Just letting him save the bubble. Lay on hands and Blessing of Protection are going to be coming back little by little. 5 seconds until a Hodge is available. Punk will not have a Blessing of the Saint for this, so Saya can actually pre-sanct it. Yeah, he's a-okay, able to get a Hodge out of the guy with a full burst, and he's done. Another Paladin? Okay, they're literally throwing every single Paladin, every single tanky class at Saya, and he's having to play into super giga high dampening. Can Saya do this again? Can Saya be the juggernaut he was meant to be? For a third time in a row. He's trying to see if he can shake off Denta. If at all, if it's possible. Try to do whatever he can to shake him off as best as he can. He's got a bubble. Lay on Hands is not doing anything. Hodge does connect. Shield of Vengeance out for Denta, which is not going to feel great for Saya. Saya may have to go for a bubble here. Does go for a Trinket bubble, unfortunately. Oh, I guess that Trinket was adaptation, so it's not like he can do anything about it. Denta may have to go for a bubble themselves. Saya knows it's going to happen. Sai is expecting it. He needs to go for whatever healing he can. Nothing that Sai can maybe try doing is maybe land a kick on Denta, but that's going to be tough. That's not easy. So he's going to try to see if he can avoid him. He's going to have to play around adaptation. Hodge is technically available. Denta will not have a human racial. Will be able to bubble. Saya needs some kind of an ace in a hole here. That or just more health to at least take the brunt of the damage. He just needs more health to survive the hits. But yeah, Hodge, Sanct is going to be huge. Sanct out of the other Paladins. He knows he's not going to be able to do much. Does Saya go aggressive here? Oh, Lay on Hands out for Denta. Saya with a Lay on Hands. Saya actually does get a stabilize. At least he's got health to work with. He won't have an immunity. Denta, unless you don't bubble, he does bubble. It was a question of do you have the globals, and Denta did save a global. Good. Saya almost broke through with them. 2 seconds on adaptation, and Saya can break out of the next stun. Or blind? Oh no, it's not going to be blind. Saya, do you have the damage? Shield of Vengeance? You gotta have something, Saya. You need something, man. Adapted? Blind? You have a regenerating stun. Wake of Ashes? Is it gonna be enough though? Trying to make a play? Third in a row? Oh, Spell Warden does break it. Hold on 10 seconds with Spell Warden. You also do have your Xander racial. You could just sit in the Consecration and Xander racial back up a little. I think he's gonna have to Spell Warden and just try to see if he can win this, right? There goes regenerating. It is percentage healing. It's not amazing. You have to pre-plan Spell Warden. Or you go for Blessing a Saint. Or you Sanct it. You have to Sanct then. Sanct? No Spell Warden. Hodge was not used by Denta. So Denta still has a Hodge. Sai needs to end this right now. Hodge. Trinket for the other guy. Hodge back. You have a reversal. Does Denta bring it back? Sai just is one good hit. Shield of Vengeance and Sai does take it. 3 in a row. It's not even fighting the easy classes. It's fighting the tough ones. But unfortunately, Sai is up with nothing. Dalaran does end up wiping him out. Who's up next? Giga dampening. You ain't healing at all. Literally 0 healing at this point. And Leo's up next. Oh man. Yeah. This is ain't gonna be easy. Ain't gonna be easy. Got himself a big side disarm for the blind to follow, and it's going to be Leo full stun. Trinket out for Tal. Tal unfortunately does not have any defenses. Does get a huge charge, knocking Leo back. Hold on, is that the play? You got the big cold, then you just run away from him. Does just taking a page out of Rogue strats. I like the little backflip he did. He got a grip. That is kind of sick looking. But a parry is going to be up. Leo's immediately going to go for Chain of Ice and walking away from him. Leo's trying to minimize the amount of damage it takes from Tello as best as possible. Spear, unfortunately, you can't escape it. Try to see if he can end the Warrior. Can he even do it? Stun. Breaks out of it. He needs to end him now. Tell with the fear. Yeah, Leo does break out of it with the Ledgeborn, taking him out. Krager is the last one left. Can Krager go through the rest of the team? Leo, Radimus, Dark Lane, and Handy? I mean, I think Leo is going to go down, but oh my goodness, hold on a second. Cooldowns unfortunately did not go through. One more. And there goes the Stompy. There goes the Stompy with Radimus immediately charging in. Yeah, I don't really know what a warrior is going to be able to do against the Paladin. Bop really aggressively. Krager will not be able to heal at all. He can just dampen the damage he takes, but that's about all. But he still is going to take a lot of damage either way. He can reduce it a little. Trinket is used. No help whatsoever. Krager will have to use it in Rage Regen, I think, really aggressively here. We'll have to use it early. Stormbolt for a moment. Radimus sells the bubble, so he's okay. And there goes Krager with a bit of self-healing. Bubble out for Radimus. Yeah, there's nothing he could do. Nothing he could do. He's got Reflect. He will have a Cheat Death, so maybe he can use the Cheat Death to take out Radimus. That's about all he can really do. I don't even know if he procced it yet or just living it so far. Here? No, he's still alive. Let's go for Berserker Stance. Hodge is not going to feel great. Krager will Cheat Death it, and Radimus is a full health bar. Full new health bar. Unless you can just wipe out the health bar in 2 seconds, it ain't happening. Valiant attempt. Oh, he got so close too. He got so close. He had him at 1 health. He almost did it. That was crazy. Yo, Blizzard, buff Fury Warrior but 2%. He wins that one. What the hell? That was amazing. That was crazy. Yo, was that the last match for the night? Was that the last game? That was insane if that was last game. That was incredible. Are we done? Are we doing more? I am really hungry, dude. I am very hungry. So if this is the last one, that would be perfect for me. I feel like that was a highlight too. That was a great game at the end. Really came down to a lot of Paladinas and a Warlock, and the guy, Sai, is still fighting. ASUS, okay. Krager is saying one more. He's got a last one. ASUS, last one. Limited decide you caster level next duels. I think Warlock will be good. Yeah, like Warlock should be fine. Good for 1v1. Yeah, Warlock. Mages can do well, but they're kind of hard to play because they don't have like no self survivability. Shamans can be good, but they're sometimes tough to play. Women's are tough. Shadow Priest are tough. I think Warlock is the easier one. Yeah, I think Warlock actually may be the easier option. Not easy, but like easier. Could do one more. Okay. Asking Krager if he's ready real quick. And we'll send one more. No, okay. Nah, okay. Push it up. We'll do another grand, right? Another grand. I'm scared of interrupts. Yeah, I mean, as a caster, there's no caster that isn't afraid of interrupts. If you want a range, you could go Beast Mastery technically, but they're kind of squished at times. The cooldowns are pretty important for them, but you don't have to worry about interrupts. You can't get kicked. Marksman is kind of similar boat. You can't get kicked, but you can't. But you will be kind of squishy at times. Yeah, I feel like Warlock would be the better choice. Yeah, you will have to worry about interrupts, but at least majority of his dots are insta. So like you get enough instantaneous procs, and you can Mortar Coil or AoE Fear when they get close. Then put some dots, fear normally, load more dots, walk away. But yeah, none of the castles are really easy. I think Devour is the only really easy one, right? But you play Devour. They're probably one of the better ones. And even they're not perfect. They are one of the better ones. Which? Who's going to be first up over for the either team? I am interested. We do have quite a assortment of melee over for the team too. So we got an assortment with a bit of melee, like one range over for the team one. With Punk going to be up first versus Radimus, Pally v Paladin. It's going to be a stun opener by Radimus. It's going to be the first one. Looks like Radimus is not playing the Wake of Ashes wings. He's playing normal middle wings. So he's going to be able to have, I think, quite a decent bit of overall raw pressure here. Blind. Punk does go for a trinket here. Radimus does get hit with a Hodge of his own. Does not choose to go for a Trinket though. Letting Shield of Vengeance absorb a lot of the damage. He's going to go for a Wake of Ashes. Worst up right after. As Punk just trying to see if he can establish a little bit of CC. I am switching around to wrong targets here. That is my fault. Trying not to. But it is going to be yet another stunt for Radimus. Unfortunately, if he had Wake of Ashes wings, then he'd be able to have a wings go every single time. But he doesn't go for it. He has normal wings instead. I wonder if that is better compared to wings every Wake of Ashes. Because I feel like with the Dawnlight build, wouldn't it be better to always like be proccing Dawnlights with wings every time? Just to establish it? Or is the normal wings actually just a lot better? Because I know for PvE it is better just to go for minute wings. Especially with how they're set up right now. Radimus just doesn't really have much health to work with here. May have to be looking for defenses. Landing a stun. Maybe it's a bit of a go. Shield of Vengeance out for Punk. Radimus maybe can trade his own Shield of Vengeance in just a second. That actually would allow him just to stay super aggressive here. He's going to end up basically resetting each other's health bar with the Shield of Vengeance. Radimus' shield does hold on. Blind to follow. It looks like Punk is going to play a little bit more steady. A little bit less aggressively. Just for a couple of rounds. Or just for a little bit of time here. Radimus though, what are we looking at actually? Radimus did burn a Spell Warden, while Punk didn't. I didn't even realize he burned it. So maybe for Punk this would be a better setup. Radimus is starting to take a decent bit of damage. I feel like Punk is basically just trying to be evasive way too early. He like hodged him, did some damage, and then he's immediately going behind the pillar as Radimus is held super low. Right now would be the best time to pressure him, lay on hands. And Punk, I guess he did get hit with a slow, but I think he should stay a lot more aggressive than he is. Blessing a Sink, Radimus making sure not to hodge into it, doing a really good job holding back. This is going to be a bit of a worse stomp. Radimus also has a hodge of his own and Blessing a Sink of his own in case he needs to use it. There goes the Trinket out for Punk. Both are kind of low. Radimus may be looking for a bubble. Punk may just want to counter with a bubble or just use all those Dawn Lights to maintain himself. So he's able to secure himself what looks like a decent recovery without having to use a big immunity button. And he should be able to hopefully keep the pressure on Radimus. Stun to follow. My Blessing a Sink for this one. Should have enough. Does still have a Trinket, but Radimus seeing Hodge without wings, without Wake of Ashes. He's probably feeling like, you know what, I'm probably okay. I'm probably alright here. I'm probably okay. For Punk right now, I think he does definitely have himself a breakthrough. Wings are available. Wake of Ashes is in play. Shield of Vengeance is not going to feel great, but you can still get a lot of raw damage into Radimus. You'll just have to do a little bit more of that like kite and run. And actually, this could be an opportunity. He's trying to see if he can stay aggressive though instead. Hard to follow. Radimus does have an answer. Does not choose to use anything for it this time though. I think it's because Punk desyncs his Hodge with his offensives, with his cooldowns, so you can never combine them together. Radimus does have a full set of wings, got himself a lot of healing. Hodge available in a couple of seconds. Does go for Blessing a Saint. It doesn't stop the damage. Does go for an interrupt onto Punk with a Hodge and everything. He does have a bubble. Might need to use it. Lay on hands instead. Lay on hands does let him recover. Radimus' health is not existent anymore. He is taking a lot of dot damage using Dawnlight to try to stabilize himself, but the enemy Dawnlight burning through that health as well. And Radimus is not in a great spot whatsoever. Hodge available in 8 seconds. But those War Stomp and the Shield of Vengeance staring him in the face. Yeah, there's just not much you can do. Not much you can do. Pally v Paladin. It all comes down to who has the better setup. Leo is trying to give Punk a bit of an honorable duel though. He's trying to let him at least stabilize and get recovered. It's at least helping him. Letting him, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. He's just ready to go. Hand of Freedom. Leo does get slammed. He's going to go for Human Racial Blind. Is he waiting for something? Maybe just waiting out the wings. Got himself a full burst bubble. He knows it's going to happen. He knows the bubble is going to come out at some point. And Punk, unfortunately, he is not going to be able to do much to Leo because he does have full dome and everything. Silence to follow. The side does go through. Reaper's side blasting him out. It is a ton of damage all condensed in a big go. And Tal is up next. This time around, he wants to get a decent rematch versus Leo, trying to make sure the Death Knight does not go anywhere. I think Leo could literally walk out of this though with Death's Advance. I know that if you got Horse with Rider of the Apocalypse, you can literally walk out of it on a horse. But no, that execute does go through and Dalaran does land it. I think he just was able to get a go onto Leo in between Leo's burst damage. And he was able to get a good setup out of it. I think that's what it came down to. Dark Lane is up next. That's going to be a bit of a harder matchup for Dalaran though. Demon Hunters have healing. Warriors have some healing, but very, very limited in comparison. It is going to be immediate haunt connecting backward instantly in case there's going to be a stun on a Tell. Tell is going to have to trade some blows using the line of sight in order to at least evade the I-beam. Goes in for a stun, and it looks like he's playing it very defensively. He doesn't want to hit the Metamorphosis. I think that's probably the best way for the warrior to do it. Just don't deal with Metamorphosis. If you can stun lock it, fear it, anything, it just stops the Demon Hunter from being able to heal. DH is still able to do decent damage though. Very decent damage, and that mobility is excellent, able to maneuver around Tell easily. But for Tell, like, he's not in an amazing, he can maybe make something work, but he's not in an amazing spot right now, unless he can lock down the DH. Does go for the stun off of the full Metamorphosis. Big Demolish to follow up, so it's going to help dampen some of the damage from Demon Hunter. Defensive stance also helping Dalaran stabilize a little bit. His self-healing is going to be very, very limited. Does get himself a little bit of a shielding, but he's not in an amazing spot. Unfortunately, he can't really re-engage the Demon Hunter whenever he wants. Tries to go for a melt for a second. Imprison to follow. Has a trinket in case there's going to be a stun out for Dark Lane. He does have one. Stun. There goes a trinket. Tell with the parry. Does go for a Stormbolt of his own. Trinket out of the Demon Hunter. And it's going to be charged by the Warrior. Trying to make some kind of a play. Spear is down. So for Tell, this is an opportunity to make some kind of damage happen. Trying to see if he can make something work. The Hunt is going to connect. Spear to follow him. Back it up out of there. Needs a shield or two in order to stabilize and let his health be recovered with second wind. But the Demon Hunter is not going to let it happen. Kinetic Shot is still available. Bladestorm is used by Tell. At least he can move while Bladestorm is active, so you can avoid any stuns. Stormbolt is going to connect as well. I mean, Tell's got himself decent procs here and there. He's getting some shield procs. He's recovering health little by little. Not crazy, but little by little. He's going to go for a Demolish. But he really needs like a good angle, and so far it feels like the Demon Hunter is able to stay away and closes the gap when he has the full combo. The hit and run. Demon Hunter just has so much damage during that small window. There's just not much you can do. Rick is going to be up next up versus Dark Lane. He's trying to see if he can rush over to the Demon Hunters, to the Warlock as soon as possible. Fear is going to connect, and Rick trying to see if he can position in a good spot. Got this Sandical Don's a bit of a spinny spin. He is playing a different build though. He's not playing the Diabolus. So he's playing more consistent damage build actually. A way more consistent damage build. So this could be really good for him. Got a bunch of pets summoned up. Dark Lane taking a lot of passive damage, whether it is from the demons, whether it is from the demonic soul procs. And it's actually going to end up splitting the Demon Hunter's health and healing with his soul separated. So actually the Demon Hunter is not able to heal as effectively, and his damage is reduced, and he heals through damage. So it's actually kind of double dips it. It actually double dips it in a negative. Because he heals through damage, but his damage is reduced. And then whenever he does deal damage, that healing is reduced. It is actually just completely shatters his full recovery. That's crazy. Fear out by Rick is going to be tricking out handy. Try to see if he closes the gap. Rick is trying to see if he can port him out. He's going to send him to the other side of the pillar. Another grapple hook, but he's going to go for a port. Expecting that grapple hook. Sees it. Grapple shadows by the rogue with a vanish. Unless he can easily close the gap, Rick is going to end up going for a bit of recovery. But that cheap shot should at least give him an opportunity to get a proper go. There would be the eyes on top of it. Water Coil with a fear right after, and unfortunately no trinket is available. And that's going to be all the pets in play. That's where Rick needs to maximize as much damage as he can. 100 gold dots are huge. He's going to summon up more pets. And those pets, unfortunately, vanish for the rogue. He's going to go through. The dots are in play. The pets do find him. And as long as you keep those dot damage through the demonic soul, you should be mostly good. Sipping up by Andy with an evasion to try to stop some of the pet's damage. Blade Rush to try to close the gap with Rick. And Killing Spree unfortunately does not connect, although the next pistol shots and scissor strikes are going to do decent damage. Unfortunately though, Rick is playing a more sustained damage build, not going for like the big setup Diabolus. He's playing more constant damage. Immediate spell warden out for Saya. Yeah, there's just no way. Yeah, it is tough, man. It is incredibly rough. It is tough. It's not easy for sure. Not easy at all. He did get a good stun lock on him. I think if you had a Killing Spree proc early and then you follow it up with a stun lock, that would have been a ton of damage during that window. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna stay away from you, and the constant damage he does with pets is huge. It is massive. Axe Toss, Saya does get locked down for just a second. More pets are going to be used to pop out. Is that the... What imp is that? Is that his Dispel Imp? That might be. Wait a second. Hold on. Does Rick have a Dispel Imp and then adaptation so Saya would literally never be able to dodge him ever again? Potentially. He does throw in a big curse. I think Saya has zero chance to crit anymore. But for Rick, that is at least decent defensive. It does help him out a little bit. Handle good downs are being used. Rick is playing very, very aggressively, just letting the Demonic Soul do a lot of damage with those procs. Rick needs a port. Does he have it? Port does get used last second. Needs to find a way to avoid Saya if at all possible. Unfortunately, Saya does connect with the Hodge, immediately breaking him out with adaptation. Adenta trying to see if he can end the duel. It looked like Rick was really trying to see if he can end it. Saya, I think, goes down. Yeah, that was a much quicker match this time. Rick does pick up 2. Well done, well done. Leo also a ton of damage in that short window to a single guy. Well done, well done. Well done, boys. And I think with that one, we're done for the evening. Thank you all. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thanks so much for watching. I do hope you guys did enjoy the duels. It's a lot of fun. Had a blast. Very enjoyable. We'll do more next week, yeah? More duels next week, boys. I'll see you next time. See you next one, man. Thanks for popping in. Are we going to be seeing you on the Warlock or whatever other class you're going to play? GG's, boys. I appreciate you. Bro, I might try to see... I'll see if the pool's empty. If the pool's empty, I might just go for a dip because it is hot as hell. Tomorrow in the EU? No, actually. We haven't done duels on Saturday, 2 weeks now or something. No. I think we'll come back Friday. I think we'll come back next week. I still would rather ideally keep Saturday for NA. But this is why for Friday duels, I stick around extra long so we can get as many games as humanly possible. We got a ton of them, man. A ton of great games. But yeah, next week for sure. Next week, more on EU on Friday. Let me see if I can respond back to Prager. Oh, yeah. There we go. Fantastic. I want to thank the guy properly. I was going to do it in English, but I don't know if... Prager knows a little bit of English, but I don't really know if he'll be able to... He might be able to, like, copy-paste it to translator or something, but yeah. I don't know if it would translate super well. I don't know if it would follow through as well as I'd like. But yeah. But yeah. Alrighty, boys. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'm gonna try to see if I can get some food, some video work done. Maybe go to the poll. Maybe only one of those things. Who knows? Guys, have a good one. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah. Alrighty, boys. Alrighty. Peace.